My oaths betray each other till there's nothing left to keep.
Only Us by Miracle of Sound. Alright, and welcome back to the Shardbreaker podcast. This is episode 16 of Words of Radiance. The second, I almost said fourth, the second Stormlight Archive book by Brandon Sanderson. We did chapter 71 through Interlude 12 this week. So we're finishing off part 4, so we're almost getting into the Sanderlanche here. Part 5 is the final part coming up after these coming interludes. Very exciting. I'm Midnight, your host, and I'm here with Mythic.
Hello.
And Deckness.
Hello.
Alright, so let's get into chapter 71, Vigil. So we get our epigraph, which is, he bears the weight of God's own divine hatred, separated from the virtues that gave it context. He is what we made him to be, old friend. And that is what he, unfortunately, wished to become. So what do you think about this description of Ray's being God's own divine hatred, as well as wishing to become that?
I mean, we've discussed that, like, his personality pretty much fit his, the shard he took, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he apparently wasn't a great person, is what we've been told here. What do you think, Mythic?
It's curious how they make it seem like he wanted that specific shard and not, like, the others.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could still gain power, but use the other shards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it's sought him out for sure. You're right.
Do you also think that they knew what the shards would be when they shattered Adonisium, or do you think it was just random and he just decided, like, oh, this one speaks to me after Adonisium was shattered?
I think it's after. Yeah, I think it's definitely an after effect. Like they had no idea what was going to happen when Adonisium shattered.
Do you agree, Darkness? Do you think they
Did
knew
it
or didn't
shatter?
know?
Oh, fuck. We don't know why it shattered anyway, right?
Well, we know that they seem to have done it on purpose. We've had like little hints.
So I'm gonna assume personally that they absolutely knew.
They knew like what the shards were
Yeah.
going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think then they like pre-decided who was going to get what shards?
Yeah.
So we start with Tef's point of view as he's talking to Sigil while on guard duty. He's unhappy that Sigil seemed to be able to get him to talk about his past. He mentions that he doesn't remember much about what his family was involved with, as he hadn't wanted to know when he was younger. Tef then glances out at the plateaus and thinks that Kaladin will be back before the high storm tonight. Tef then begins talking more about the cult his family had been in, called the Invisagers. Tef says that they thought that if they could bring back the Voidbringers, the Knights Radiant would also return. Although their cult seemed stupid, they knew things about the powers of the Knights Radiant that Teft has proven were now true after seeing Kaladin's abilities. So what do you think about the Invisagers' goal?
Not gonna lie, it probably sounds well, describing everything that they did,
Mm-hmm.
it probably sounds like something a lot of us would probably try if we didn't have that much info on like the bugs and stuff, and if we were in their place.
Do you mean trying to
'Cause
kill
wouldn't-
yourself or trying to bring back the Voidbringers?
Well, well, the thing is, they're not trying to necessarily bring back the Voicebringers. That's just a catalyst.
Well, they're very specifically trying to bring back the Voidbringers, but they're doing it because they think that'll bring back the Knights
Yeah.
Radiant, not just because
So
they
it's
like the Voidbringers.
It's the catalyst for the Knights Radiance coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is like us trying to trigger the powers, even like without realizing what the consequences could lead to. Because I feel like I would do that, like I'd be part of the
The
experiment
Invisagers?
there. Yeah, like if I have a feeling that it's gonna trigger, I'm probably gonna end up dead.
What did you think, Mythic,
Yeah,
about the
I kinda
Invisagers'
agree.
goal?
What did I think about them in general?
their
I
goal,
think they
their
sound like
goal.
a cult, and it's hilarious.
Well, yeah, they're
I think
definitely a
it's-
cult.
I think they're a cult. I think they're a cult, and it's hilarious because it's like, come join my cult.
Well, now talking about how like it's not just themselves doing it, but like them bringing other people into it. That is like way off the chart,
Well, they were kind of bringing things into it, but I think Tef specifically says like they never tried to harm innocents. They only tried to harm themselves to gain powers.
No, right, but like as soon as you like spread that,
Mm-hmm.
at that point, you're kind of bringing them into it anyway.
Yeah, agree.
So Sigzel notes that talking about the cult is difficult for Teft, so he suggests they play another game of Meacham. Teft doesn't want to, though, as he doesn't want to lose more spheres, and also he doesn't like that it has a symmetrical and thus holy name. Sigzel is annoyed by this, as symmetrical names aren't holy where he is from. Plus, the game doesn't rely on chance, so it shouldn't offend the Vorans. Teft thinks that it might be best for him to lose his spheres because he can't be trusted to have money. What do you think about Teft not trusting himself with money?
He goes to a strip club a lot.
Okay. How do you pay the strippers when it's like marbles that you're paying with? Because like, don't people like throw like bills at people in like strip clubs or something? Like you just imagine throwing marbles at people.
No, bro, just shove. Never mind. Let me not say that.
I mean, you just make it's just called making it hail.
Oh my god.
Have you pelted that stripper recently? Like
the more bruises the stripper has, the more popular they are because they're just getting pelted with spears. Oh god.
That sounds great, honestly.
Wow, wait. You know a lot about strippers. Are you talking to Jesus?
I've seen American movies.
Oh.
Oh wow, only American movies have strippers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I've seen.
Totally.
I don't think I've seen a non-American movie with strippers. That I've seen.
You're joking, right?
No, that I've seen. I mean, most of our media comes from America. Like most of the movies I've seen are American.
Oh, that's fair, I guess.
Like we even if they're filmed in Canada, most of them are like directed by like American directors and stuff. So that's
the amount of like other countries though that produce films that are solely based on stuff like that, and the fact that like they're in worse off conditions that like can they even be considered strippers at that point?
I don't know. I feel like everything that I've seen that has a stripper thing is always set in Las Vegas.
Oh
my god.
Which is not true at all, but
it's not even that like.
I'm just saying that's what I've seen.
Yeah.
Like honestly, in most media, like what you're gonna find in most media, like is it's prostitutes that are in Vegas because
really?
Nevada. Yeah, because parts of Nevada have like legal prostitution. So if you portray a prostitute, you're most likely going to be out in Vegas.
Interesting.
Yeah, like it's kind of crazy.
Anyways, let's get back on track here.
No, this talking about prostitution on the podcast is pretty great.
This is on track, right? We're talking about prostitution in this world.
Tef continues on about the Invisitors, stating that they thought putting themselves in dangerous situations would make them more likely to manifest powers. He says he watched people in the group put themselves in deadly situations, and that it had been horrible as a young child. He says he turned in the group to the City Lord, but the man had decided to put them all to death just for trying to kill themselves. His mother had died by being crushed by a rock trying to get radiant powers, but his father had been hanged with the rest of the cult. So what do you think about the Invisitors putting themselves in these horribly deadly situations in hopes of gaining surge binding powers?
Well, technically I already answered that, but also the fact that the dude decided I'm gonna kill them so they don't kill themselves is crazy.
Right, Tef was like, I just wanted to get them to stop, and then he killed them all, and now Tef feels horribly guilty because he got all these people killed, even though they were also killing themselves.
Like, right? Like, bro, what?
I mean, to be fair, it is his fault.
It is, but also grew up in a cult and saw his mother. Well, he didn't see because apparently they wouldn't let him. But like he got told that his mother got crushed by a rock trying to get radiant powers. And he's like, I don't like that. I am a child and I want this to stop.
She should have said the words.
Exactly.
Well, apparently it didn't help anyone else to say the words, because I'm assuming they must have known the words, because he knew the words.
I don't think so. I think they were literally just trying without hope of without idea of what they were supposed to do.
Well, because Tef says that all of the information he knows about the Knights Radiant comes from them, and he knew the words that Kaladin needed to say, the first ideal. He knew
why doesn't he know all of the words then? Why can't? Well, because
only the first ideal is the same for everyone. It's different.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
The other ideals are different.
But you said he knows all the words. How does he know all the words then?
No, he knows. Yeah, I said he knows all the words of the first ideal.
Uh-huh.
The whole first ideal.
All the words. I think he's just holding out on Kaladin.
Everyone's are individual. They each order follows the same theme, but they're still individual.
I think he's holding out on Kaladin. That's all good.
Can you imagine? He's the one experiment that succeeded.
Tef's actually like a 5th ideal Knight Radiant.
Whatever that means,
Well, 5th ideal is the final ideal. Only 5.
That's
Supposedly. Yeah, supposedly.
What if you can go beyond that?
Yeah, go beyond. Plus ultra.
You need to leave.
Oh, what, you don't like me making references?
My hero jokes.
Plus ultra.
So Tef then begins looking for his flask, and he ends up noticing Renarin sitting nearby. He thinks that it isn't right for Renarin and Moash to not know their places as Light Eyes and Dark Eyes, although Moash was technically a Light Eyes now. He thinks that if the Almighty made certain people with Light Eyes and Dark Eyes, they should stay where they are in society. Which is very classist of him.
Well,
come on now, Teft. Sigzil then mentions Dalinar approaching, and Teft quickly grabs his spear and stands to salute. Considering Kaladin was gone right now and Moash was promoted, Teft had been left in charge of the bridgemen. Dalinar asked if Teft really thinks that Kaladin is still alive after falling hundreds of feet, and both Teft and Sigzil believe he is. They had been sitting near the ladder that comes up from the chasms on rotation during their off time from guarding, although Teft had been here almost every shift. However, Teft was worried that Kaladin had somehow hit his head or gotten injured without enough spheres around him to heal. Dalinar, however, says that he isn't here to ask them to stop waiting, but to make sure they were eating and resting, and that they weren't thinking of trying to wait out during the high storm tonight. Before Dalinar walks away, Tef comments that Dalinar doesn't believe them that Kaladin is alive. I said Kalinar. Kaladin is alive.
That's the ship. That's the ship
God.
name.
Dalinar does not, but Tef thinks Dalinar would just be surprised when Kaladin does return. So what do you think about Dalinar allowing Bridge 4 to wait by the chasms, even though he doesn't believe Kaladin is alive?
I mean, what is he gonna do? Oppress him? Like, we already seen that Dalinar has a weak wrist when it comes to ruling. Totally.
What did you think, Mythic, about Dalinar allowing them to hang out by the chasms?
Wait, Dalinar did what now?
The chasms?
Dalinar's letting the bridgemen wait out by the chasms for Kaladin, even though he doesn't believe Kaladin's alive.
I mean, hey, don't dash the people's hopes, man. Especially since you're fucking wrong.
He is wrong.
For now.
How? Okay, here's the issue I have, right? How does this man who watched Kaladin not only
That's what I was thinking.
Fight Shardbearers in an arena, but also I'm sure has heard the story of him being out in the storm and all of these other things. How are you gonna doubt that this man is still alive? What?
Kaladin obviously, even if he didn't have powers, he obviously would have grabbed one of the vines of the vine buds and been able to slow his descent enough to not fall that far. Really?
Not even that. Just, bro, you've seen this man do fucking wonders. How are you gonna just be outright not alive? This man, Kaladin could not have been gone that long.
I think he's been gone 2 or 3 days at this point.
That's not that long. You've got to understand, man.
Yeah, Dalinar just thinks he couldn't have survived the fall initially. He's just he was just instantly
dumb.
dead.
How do you? This man has done so much.
Dalinar just doesn't have that faith that the others do.
I mean, what about Adolin? Did Adolin believe he was alive?
We don't know. We don't really get Adolin's
exactly.
point
I
of
want to
view
know
here.
that. That's the person I want to know.
Yeah,
I mean,
I want to know that too.
Soon to be wife and this random man that you put all of your faith in, who saved your life.
To be fair, Shallan hasn't done a bunch of extraordinary things that Adolin knows about, so he's probably okay, Shallan's dead and he was suffering because of that. But he should believe Kaladin. He's seen Kaladin do awesome things. Adolin at least should believe in Kaladin.
Okay, but can you imagine if he went to the chasm thingies, the freaking, every day just to check up?
I mean, he might be going out to see Renarin, at least. But apparently his dad was also sending him on a bunch of errands to keep his mind off things. We find out later.
Absolutely wild to me that this man doesn't believe in his own,
captain?
What the hell? Why do you even make him a captain?
So we switched to Kaladin's point of view, as he felt like the 10 fools, especially Eshu, who spoke of things he did not know in front of those who did. He had followed his instincts on how debris and cracks in the chasms were formed, but his instincts had been wrong. He calls out for Syl, but he gets no response. He then wanders back over to Shallan, who he thinks he seems to hate irrationally. He glances down at the map she was drawing, asking at first if all of what she was doing was necessary, but she insisted it was as she continues to draw. He was shocked by how accurate her drawing seemed as he glances over her shoulder. Shallan admits that her memory is much better than she had initially told him when Kaladin comments on how amazing the drawing and memory is. She then mentions that something seems off though, so she goes to walk around one of the plateaus. Kaladin worries about how long this is taking as she goes to jog around a second plateau. However, she says they'll never make it out of here before the high storm if she doesn't know exactly where they are. Kaladin glances at the drawing she had handed him, worried that if she was right, then he had led them south and east, even further than where they had started that morning. As he goes around to meet her, he notices signs of a chasm fiend going through here recently. He also overhears Shallan talking to herself, thinking for a moment it sounds like when he would talk to Syl. However, he thinks that she can't be a Radiant.
So dumb.
Also, what do you think about Shallan revealing her memory ability to Kaladin?
Wait. Oh, like like her drawings and shit.
Yeah, like how good she
That
was.
she
at memorizing
continues to
them.
do to literally everybody.
To be fair, she kind of had to here, but to like survive, because she's like, we need to get out of here. I just need to do this.
You're not wrong, but she just continues to show people that she has these powers.
She showed the Ghost Blood. She shows Kaladin, and then later on, she's going to show Dalinar.
Like, what the heck are you doing, woman? I mean, she showed whatever the fuck her name is too. Wow, I can't remember the woman you continue to tell me is dead, but she's not.
Oh, Yasna.
Yasna. She showed Yasna this ability. Like,
well, Yasna at least she told about like her whole radiant powers and everything, so she told
but
Yasna
she
everything.
I'm pretty sure she did that beforehand, though. I'm pretty sure didn't she? Show
Yeah, I think
her
because she
stuff
didn't have a
before?
reason to hide it. The reason she's trying to hide it here so she doesn't get found out by the Ghost Bloods on who Vale really is. But now she's just telling everyone.
This woman is just idiotic.
So Shallan adds to her drawing and notes that her map is accurate, but also that there are mirrored versions of these plateaus to the north. Kaladin tells her that he had a dream about the Shattered Plains being symmetrical, and Shallan suddenly realizes that because of that, she could map the whole Shattered Plains with just the parts she knows of. She thus knows where the Parshendi are and where the Oathgate is, meaning it's even more important that they get back to the war camps. She says something shattered the plains, causing the stone to become sand in large cracks, and the high storms eventually blew that sand away, leaving the chasms. So what do you think could have shattered the Shattered Plains?
Shattered Spike.
Shattered Spike from our D&D campaign.
That's what popped up in my head,
Yes.
okay?
Yep. I agree. I think that my sword definitely did it. Yep. Nothing else.
But do you think it was like? Do you think it was the Voidbringers? Do you think it was like one of the shards? Like, was it Honor or
I think it's a god.
Odium?
I think it's one of the gods. Yeah.
Mm.
I think Odium shattered it probably with a battle with whatever the Honor. Yeah, that's the
With Honor when
one
he
that's supposedly dead. Yeah.
when he killed Honor, maybe it shattered the Shattered
Yeah.
Plains.
Mhm.
That's fair. Do you have any other thoughts?
The way
or
she
thoughts?
says that, Darkness, the way she says this stuff, does it make you feel like she's condescending you? Like,
I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm supposed to know the answer, but I don't fully 100% remember the answer to what shattered the Shattered Plains. I think
Also, it's not that important.
no, it's not that. It's just that it's from I think we find out in like book 4 or something, and I think
What?
that's like the one I haven't reread. So
wait, you're gonna do a podcast and you haven't reread every book? Like, what?
You're more worried about that. I'm like frustrated that it's at book 4.
Wait, does this mean that when we get to those books, you're gonna reread them with us at the same time?
I mean
She reads
that's
it
what
ahead of
I've
time.
basically been doing.
Yeah.
No, you said you don't remember those books.
I said I don't
I'm
remember the
I'm
details.
saying
I remember the main parts.
Books, no, I'm talking about like the books that come out after that we haven't put on the list because they haven't come out yet. Are you
Oh
going to also wait to read those?
no, I'm doing those for the
with
Patreon
us?
content. The new books.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm
Fuck.
doing the Patreon content.
Goddamn Patreon.
But
I was hoping.
the thing is though, I'll have recorded my notes for the Patreon, so I can go back and I can play parts of like what I thought for you guys and be like, this when we get to it, here's exactly what I thought at this point. So, but yeah, no, I'm doing that for the Patreon content, the new books.
Why?
Because she needed to have some kind of content for the patrons.
Yeah, do you want money, Darkness?
No.
Okay, I won't give you
Yeah,
your cut
Darkness
then.
doesn't care about
Me
money. Yeah,
and
Darkness
Mythic
doesn't
will
care
just split
about
the
money.
Patreon
Poor.
content.
Yeah,
Me-
I care about the money.
Me and Mythic will just split Patreon content money then.
I care
Darkness
about-
gets
Much
No.
easier to split it 50-50.
I care about pleasuring people's, wants.
Oh, yeah?
We're
So,
gonna move on.
Why don't you pleasure my wants?
As they start walking again, Shallan jokes that they might end up in the center of the Shattered Plains if she lets Kaladin lead. Although Kaladin laughs, but he feels like a failure. Every 2 plateaus, Shallan would update her map, and although it made things slower, it also made sure they didn't go off track again. As they get closer to where Dalinar's scouts may be, Kaladin tries shouting up to them, but he worries that they are already hidden away for the upcoming high storm. He also tries calling out to Syl again, but she still does not reply to him. Shallan tries to make some jokes to cheer Kaladin up as they begin walking again, but he mentions how it's his fault that they got more lost. Shallan insists that she wouldn't have done any better, and that what's done is done, so they need to just keep trying to get out before the high storm. Shallan then reveals to Kaladin that she understands the pain of seeing people around you get hurt and die while being unable to do anything to help. Kaladin is shocked that she seems to understand this as well. She was broken as well, and she still smiled despite it, and Kaladin found it beautiful. He feels somehow lighter now and thinks that Tien had the same effect on him when he'd been a child. So what do you think about Kaladin relating Shallan to Tien?
So when that whole description of her and how she worked in general, like, you know, how she functioned, in my head, I was like, this is where people start ships.
Yes, a lot of people started shipping Shallan and Kaladin after the chasm scenes here. Yes.
Yeah, we said this last time.
When she smiled and he was like, "That's the most beautiful shit I've ever seen." I was
oh
like,
my god! I was like, "Oh well, you're not helping at all."
Yep. No, this is definitely when a bunch of people started shipping them, and me reading this was like, "No, fuck you! This would be a terrible couple. Fuck off."
And then, like you and Jesus.
No.
Yeah, totally.
Nothing like us.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Isn't Jesus a Windrunner as well?
Yeah, but I'm not a light weaver. I'm a truth watcher.
Yeah, but it's just like you two.
No, it's not. Because also Jesus is not as depressed as Kaladin is. He's not like super depressed all the time.
That you know of.
I would know. We've been together for almost 10 years.
That doesn't mean that you're gonna know straight off.
We talk about mental health a lot. I do. No.
But do we talk about his mental health?
Yes, we talk about both of ours.
Yeah. How's his mental health doing right now with all the strippers that he's watching?
Oh my god. Jesus is doing fine with his video games.
I don't know. I feel like he's watching a lot of strippers, you know. Maybe there's some things that aren't going around out good in the house, you know?
Anyways, Jesus is not Kaladin. Jesus is Adolin.
Well, as I was saying, after that,
Jesus just shouted from the other room, excuse me.
Excuse you what, huh?
Apparently he wants to be Kaladin.
Oh.
I didn't think he wanted to be that depressed, but okay.
See, you gotta check up on his mental health, but you're like, no.
Wait, see, you don't know him at all. What are you talking about? You lied.
Anyways, what were you saying, Dickness?
Crazy.
What were you saying, Dickness?
So after that smile situation, I was like, okay, well, there goes all the ships, you know?
Yep, you're not helping the shipping.
And then after that, I was like, please let there be something that can save it, you know? And he brought up how it reminded him of, like, the brother, right?
Yeah, his little brother.
So I was like, please take it as a sibling, you know?
I was kind of hoping that, like, the way to end it, right, would have been that, like, he started talking about how he killed her brother.
I'm surprised he didn't mention that.
Yeah, without thinking about it, he just started talking about, like, you know, why he hates what's his nuts or whatever so much. Yeah, and so, like, he was gonna be like, yeah, I killed this guy that had a shard blade, and then he took credit for it, and then she put the pieces together.
Yeah, luckily he apparently summarized things enough where he was just like, yeah, Amram killed all my men because of a shard blade.
And he even makes a comment about it later, too. He was like, I'm glad she
that's the guy killed.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, I definitely killed her brother. Oh shit. He's like, I didn't say anything right. No, she's not bringing it up. Okay, I definitely didn't say anything.
It's surprising that he really didn't say anything. Like,
you're just sitting there, like, panicking. Anyway, so Shallan then begins joking about the good thing about being down here, like getting their clothes washed and going swimming. Kaladin jokes as well, saying that it's almost like he got the day off since he doesn't have guard duty while down here. They continue joking for quite a while, causing Kaladin to smile.
Jokes. I said I hate their morbid jokes.
It's
a good thing we're here. It's a good thing. No, it's not. It's not good at all.
They're trying their best.
They're optimistic.
They're being optimistic.
What she's doing is lying, which is exactly what she needs to do, apparently. Wild. And Kaladin just going with it.
Kaladin doesn't need to say the truth anymore. He doesn't got Syl anymore.
I know, that's the point. How are you gonna get Syl back if you keep lying, man?
Syl's still there, actually.
She's weeping quietly, apparently.
Nope. Syl's
She
dead.
needs to get over herself.
Oh,
Syl
damn.
is 100%. Syl is 100% dead. We've got that confirmation from the Stormlord.
Stormfather.
The Stormlord.
Stormlord. Yeah, so
Storm Daddy.
Kaladin's mood does dampen slightly when Shallan mentions Adolin, though. They stop for Shallan to draw some more, and Kaladin
Which is so wrong, woman. Like, come on. You were just lying to him about, oh, it's a good thing, good thing, good thing. Come on.
Well, I think she said it was. I think she was like, "Oh, it'll be a good thing that when I get back, Adolin will be like all over me, because he'll have missed me."
Yeah.
Which is disgusting.
He was kind of all over her afterwards.
Yeah, I was like, is it though? Is it disgusting? Because we've been watching it for like a while now.
It's more in the situation they're in.
Oh, yeah.
So they stop for Shallan to draw some more and for Kaladin to shout up for potential scouts. However, when he does, a chasm fiend trumpets in response and comes crashing through the chasms at them. Kaladin acts on instinct, grabbing Shallan by the arm and running through the chasms.
The shippers!
Shallan drops her satchel and she is pulled after him. As the chasm fiend approaches them, Kaladin finds a fissure in the wall of the chasms and shoves Shallan inside and then dives into it himself. They had dropped most of their spheres, except the ones attached to Kaladin's spear that he'd been using to make a makeshift lantern. They look up, and Kaladin can see the eye of the chasm fiend staring down at them. It tries to slam its claw into the fissure, but the crack is too small. So what do you think about the chasm fiend returning?
Yay! Until they slaughter it in cold blood.
I really wanted them to fight it. It's unfortunate that they didn't.
I mean, Kaladin basically fought it.
No, what are you talking about?
He killed it!
It was dead already. They found it dead.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. They found it dead and rotting. Of course.
Till we get to that part of the thing, and then you kind of can't deny it. But yeah, sure.
And Dalinar definitely believes them, because Kaladin's such a good liar.
That made me so upset. Why would you say that?
So the chasm seems to have been waiting for them, and Shallan asks how long until the high storm. Kaladin replies that it's probably only around 2 hours away. Suddenly the chasm fiend charges at the wall again, and the tip of its leg is able to get in close to Kaladin, but not enough to actually hurt him. After a few minutes of waiting, Kaladin decides that he will distract the chasm fiend while Shallan runs the other way. She has a chance.
That was going to happen.
She has a chance to get back to the war camps with her map, and she has important information. Kaladin also says that with his combat training, he has more of a chance of surviving than she would against the chasm fiend. Shallan begs Kaladin not to go, to die and leave her alone in the chasms. Kaladin tells her to tell Adolin that he did kind of like him, and that he's a good guy. However, before he can leave, Shallan summons her Shardblade and tells Kaladin to take it. So what do you think about Shallan revealing her Shardblade to Kaladin?
Motherfucker, stop revealing your fucking shit to people. Why are you being this way?
You might as well just show him pattern at this point.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, be like,
She talks about him too.
By the way, yeah, exactly. I mean, well, she doesn't really talk about patterns. She just talks about patterns in nature.
No, it's pattern. She was talking to pattern.
She talks directly to pattern sometimes when she wanders away from him. He's like, is she talking to his friend? Nah, she couldn't be.
Like, bro, like, just tell his ass everything. Like, first off, I thought she was going to tell him everything when they start revealing shit about their past and shit.
And both of them just skim over the fact that they're Knight's Radiance.
Yeah, like,
or he was.
So is she.
No,
Well,
Darkness isn't directed because Kaladin's not
too,
one.
Right?
Well, yeah, I guess they're not yet, but they're Surge Binders. Or were.
Yeah, that's different. Get it right.
I'm sorry. Surge Binders and Knight's Radiance are different.
You can't miscategorize people.
I know,
like
I'm
that.
sorry.
Why? We miscategorize you all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you're definitely a Windrunner, right, Darkness? Don't you want an honor friend who always makes you?
I would fucking kill that bitch immediately.
I don't think you would attract an honor friend in the first place.
If anything, I would fucking repel those bitches.
He'd be like, ugh, and he would butt him.
Weird question. Are honor friend only like with Syl, or like could you get a different like person as
they would have slightly different personalities, but what draws them to people is honor and like the vows they make. So like you'd still have similar people that would become a Windrunner.
No, I get what you're asking. No, he's asking if the Spren itself would change like in general. Not like the Spren like what they are, but like who they are.
Yeah, because we don't like her based off mostly her personality and the way she acts, not because. Well, I mean, I kind of like Sil, but
It's like,
um,
let's say,
but
can we get a like an honors friend, but with like a slightly more patterned
yeah, like
personality?
You
or
could,
like
yeah.
in
Just
general,
they
yeah,
still wouldn't
okay,
like lies, but yeah, they could still definitely
Yeah.
like have a they just like people. Spren can have a whole bunch of different personalities. It's just the same type of Spren
Oh,
value the
oh,
same things.
yes, but what I'm saying is like okay, so an honors friend to me, right?
Yeah.
Like if I were to think of an honors friend, like if you never, I never read this book and I was thinking about what an honors friend would be, I would think more like a paladin from like D&D, like
Hmm.
honorable and shit, and where Syl just kind of strikes me more as a child. That
Syl is very mischievous. Not all honor Spren would act like Syl. No, some
yeah,
could definitely be
exactly.
more stuck up types, or
so
like
you're saying we
they could
got stuck with the
be
worst one?
no.
No, I'm sure there's worse. To be honest, Dartness.
I prefer those worse.
I see.
Really, I don't think you would, but
And as long as it's not so, I have a
oh my
personal
god.
vendetta.
I
Once
know
I
you
don't
have a
like
personal
someone,
vendetta.
It's only because it's Syl. Yeah, I gotcha.
once I don't like someone, I'd rather have a worse version of them and like still feel
Oh
fine
my
with it.
god. Oh my god.
But I feel like that's just me being petty. But still,
Yeah, no, there's a whole bunch. Everyone can have like a whole bunch of different personalities.
they
The only thing
shouldn't
that
be
makes
allowed to. They're just spren.
anyways, we're moving on to chapter 72, Selfish
Wow.
Reasons.
They're just ska.
Oh my gosh. So the epigraph is, I suspect that he is more a force than an individual now, despite your insistence to the contrary. The force is contained and an equilibrium reached. So, do you agree that, like Ruin and Preservation, Ray's personality is probably consumed by odium, and he is no longer like he was before ascending?
No.
No, not at all.
At that point, his personality sounds like it took over Odio.
I mean, kind of, yeah. But also, didn't I mean? It's not like the personalities changed in the other two vessels, right? That we've kind of met.
Well,
No, we
like,
got told that it did
Hope is still the same.
because
Whatever the
oh,
fuck. What, I don't know.
Cal
Yeah,
or Kelsier.
no, Hope.
Oh, it wasn't Kelsier.
I know it's not Hope. I know his name's not. I know his new
Says?
name isn't Hope.
Harmony.
Yes, Harmony. Yes.
Well,
I
he
said
hasn't
Harmony.
changed. He hasn't changed yet. Like they were saying over the like millennia and stuff. Like their basically personalities got taken over.
Okay, but over time, don't people
Like,
just change in
yeah,
general?
people
Though?
change in general. Exactly.
Well, they
like,
do, but like they were saying. I think in these letters, as well as like I think potentially Miss Burn's Secret History, they were saying that Addie was like one of the kindest, nicest people ever, and like Ruin eventually just took over him and made him like evil and hatred, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, but that's just exactly how environmental
but-
like situations affect people in general.
mm.
Like if something that strong is tied to you, if it's like based off of you at this point, then you're gonna get like swayed to become more like it.
yeah, people keep calling you evil. You're just gonna be evil, you know.
Mhm.
When people call you short, you're just gonna be short, Midnight.
Yeah, midnight. Like,
don't
you
think
can't
that's
help
affected
it.
by
You're just gonna
people.
be short.
I think that's just
Totally
a
is.
genetic thing.
No, it's totally affected by people for you. For everybody else, it's genetic.
I mean, you can always get surgery, but
No,
Yeah,
those
make
sound
yourself taller.
horrible.
I got a rack. I got a rack. You wanna go ahead
No,
and
I'm okay.
I'll tie your arms and legs and.
I'm okay.
we need to order 2 horses and some rope.
I mean, that's just a basic rack, but yeah, sure.
Kaladin is shocked to see Shallan holding a shard blade, lines on it glowing with garnet light. He brushes against the flat end and is surprised to not hear any screaming. Kaladin asks how Shallan got a shard blade, but she insists that it isn't important at this exact moment and asks him to take it before she drops it and slices off his foot.
So
Usually-
real quick,
Mhm.
he hears screaming when he touches the shard blade before, right? I don't know why I never put this together
Mhm.
until this chapter. All right, he hears screaming when he touches a shard blade. She's touched a shard blade with
This
pattern
one, yes.
being a thing, and not once has she ever heard screaming.
Yes. And he doesn't hear screaming when he touches the shard blade. But we don't know if
well,
that's because Scylla's
Well,
gone.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say not now. So it's kind of gone. So like,
How many
and
words
my
has
whole
Calvin
thing
said?
is 2. I think he's on the second phrase or whatever.
Also, really sorry. I need to quickly run and take a bathroom break before we continue. I'm so sorry.
Old people.
All right, everybody. Podcast is ours now.
No,
we're ending
podcast
it-
over. See
yeah,
you next
we're ending
time.
it right now.
That was great. One of the
Good
shortest
podcast.
episodes we have.
Exactly. Great podcast. So, Darkness, I found this new game. I think you
Okay,
might like
bye. No.
it. I know, but Darkness, I think I found a game that you might like.
What game?
It's called. Give me 1 second, because I'm in the middle of playing it. Contractville.
No,
No? Okay.
I'm joking. Let me go
Okay.
look at it.
Yeah, go look at it on Steam. I know Midnight would love this game because it's the type that she tends to play a lot. So,
What's it called?
Contractville. It's all one word.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Why is it so expensive?
I don't know. It's in early access though, so that's the weirdest part about it.
Is like, what is this building shit?
Yeah, you can build like houses and sell it. You can deconstruct.
Midnight one like this?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because it's like the like simulation kind of thing, right? Like when she does
Oh,
the
like
counter and stuff.
I would
Yeah, like
definitely love playing
power
Midnight.
wash simulator and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's
This
basic.
is like
it's just
fun.
basic
We could
stuff.
build shit for Stephanie.
Yeah.
I don't know who Stephanie is, but
Yeah. So here's the thing. I want to try after podcast to see if it's remote play. If it's remote play, we can play together because I have it already and I'm playing it. If you don't have the money to buy it, obviously, because I'm
not
not buying
remote
this
play.
so much. It's okay. You can actually tell that
it tells you, yeah, at the bottom.
It would tell you that. You're sure?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
We could still try.
Yeah, I still want to try just to see, but
There's a Discord for it.
should I Discord for it? Yeah.
Creator. 4 players. Wow.
Yeah, you can play 4 people on it, which. But I don't know anybody who plays it other than me, so I'm just playing by myself. But I've gotten pretty
Why
far.
is my Steam in full screen?
I don't know.
Stop it.
I keep GTA driving around, driving on the wrong side of the road, not giving a shit about the fucking lights, fucking drifting around corners. I got me a nice little truck.
You're still using city terms is crazy.
Just said GTA driving, but yeah.
Well, I mean
Hi,
GTA
back.
driving. It's just driving in normal. In GTA.
No, it's not. Wait, whoa, yes, yeah. But it's not driving normal. Okay, normal driving is the way people want you to drive.
No, I mean like in GTA.
RP.
That's just normal.
Yeah, but I'm not using. That's not a city. In my brain, that's not a city term. That's just a different game term. Even if I hadn't RP'd, I feel like I could still call it GTA driving because I'm driving like in GTA, the video game.
I guess.
Yeah.
If you say so.
If you say so.
Alright, I am back. Sorry about that.
So
Wow, how like 30-year-old of you.
I know, totally.
Oh my god, I'm 21.
So young.
Time flies, man.
Alright.
You'll be 40 by the time you're 30, man.
Oh
I
god.
think I'm reaching that. That far.
Oh, you don't think you're gonna get that far?
No. As a fucking teenager, I was like, I'm not making it to 18.
And then look, you made it to 18.
And then I'm like, at 18, I was like, I'm not making it to 21. And, you know, yeah, but whatever.
Here we are.
Alright.
You gotta
Let's,
set unrealistic goals, you know?
let's continue with the podcast. Wait, why is my...
Hi. Oh,
Hi, I was saying
know
I
what
was
you're
back.
talking
I was saying I was back, and apparently it wasn't registered in Discord.
nobody could hear you because we had
I
ended
was like-
the podcast is already over.
We ended the
already
podcast
ended.
already.
No,
Well,
we're
we
going
already
back to
ended the
podcast.
We were like, the podcast is over, guys. We'll see you
Yeah,
next
we
time.
gotta do another
No.
intro. Gotta do another intro and everything because
No.
we ended the podcast already.
We're splitting this into 2 parts.
No.
You know, we're trying something new.
Alright, so yes, usually Kaladin would refuse any chance to hold a Shardblade, but this was different as he wouldn't be keeping it, and he would be protecting someone using it. Kaladin takes it, thinking that Shallan having a Shardblade proves she wasn't a Surgebinder. So we kind of talked about it a little bit, but so do you think that the Shardblades only scream for like Windrunners, or do you think Shallan's Shardblade is special and that's why there's no screaming when she touches it?
Special. I think it's special. I think it's an honor blade.
That's what I said, like,
Yeah.
a while ago.
Yeah, no, you did. And I agree with you.
Also, I love that they showed how the shaping works in this.
Yeah, we'll get
That
to
was
that.
one of my favorite things, because like we talked about how if we want
No,
Paladin
I
to-
think didn't I make the comment that I think that they can change, like that they should be able to change weapons. Like I thought that shit was so cool, and I was vindicated as fuck. Was like, wait, I was right again about another thing, like because they can change different other shit. Why can't they just change the weapon?
Downer said in the
even more
first
bad.
book, like, why would the Radiance not make like hammers and tools for working people instead of just like weapons?
Yeah,
Right?
we kind of figured it
Maybe-
out when
Maybe it's just because they can change shape and they're like they could be anything. So like, I'll just change it into a hammer or a
Into
shovel.
a claw hammer or a yeah, exactly.
We kind of figured it out too when they discuss how it changes based on the person using it, early on in the first book too.
It does.
Yeah, if you
I don't remember
obviously
that.
it's gonna change because if let's say someone like Midnight gets somebody who's somebody's sword who's 6'10" or some shit, and they have a fucking heavy ass longsword,
And you just can't use it.
and that's just not their her style because
Yeah.
she's small and petite.
I mean, I guess I guess I shouldn't be as surprised about it because it's literally changing the one dude's eyes. So
And apparently they formed around the gemstones. They just whoop.
yeah, I mean, but here's the thing that I kind of annoyed me was the fact that Kaladin then took her blade. Motherfucker, why didn't you just turn it into a spear?
That's what I was thinking. We've been talking about how we want him to have a spear.
Well, it seems like she didn't know it could change shape until it happened for her while she was carving out the stone.
Wait, she did? I thought she did that just
I thought she was just hey, do this, and it did it.
I think she says this is really annoying, and then it changed shape, and she's like, oh, thanks.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't know it could do that.
I feel like it's less of an oh thanks and more of a thank you. I don't think they confirm it, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't know, or at least she doesn't remember that it can do that at the current point in time until it happens.
She's lying to herself.
Maybe she just doesn't know because she's a woman.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Darkness, can you define a woman for me?
It's
a person who covers their safe hand.
Yeah. Wait, I would cover my safe hand.
I guess you're a woman then.
Period. Slay.
I mean, we already knew Darkness was not conforming, so.
We're not gonna go into myself. No.
Anyways,
I don't want to unlock a whole chamber of issues.
we can get into the Shardblade some more changing shape in a bit because we're not there technically yet. But Shallan.
Never mind. No, continue.
Shallan then tells Kaladin not to tell anyone about her Shardblade and also asks him to lead the chasm feed to the left so she can get back to her satchel where her map drawings were. Before he leaves, Shallan tells Kaladin to try not to die. Kaladin then charges to the left toward the chasm fiend and slides on the ground under it. He tries to slice at it with the Shardblade but misses and slices into the rock wall instead. Kaladin slowly backs away from the chasm fiend and it follows him as Shallan escapes the other way. As Kaladin waves...
Yeah, totally. That's totally what she did.
Well, no, she does because she has to go get her satchel so she can do the drawings. She comes back later. He just doesn't see her.
I feel like she went.
Well, he does see her. What are you talking about?
He sees her, then he doesn't see her.
She went disguised herself, right? I'm assuming made a copy of herself, sent that, and then
Well, we'll get into it when she talks about it. But I think basically she goes to get her satchel so she has her drawing paper so that she can then do her illusions.
I don't understand why she needs that. Just do your illusions, woman.
Pattern also says she technically doesn't need to, but for some reason she feels that she has to, which is why she has to.
It's just so dumb. Just make your illusions, girl.
He's like, you really shouldn't need to do that. And she's like, well, I do, so.
I do it anyways because I'm a rebel.
She wants to be stylish. Who doesn't want to make their art come to life?
Big top.
Looking at all those people that are infatuated with 2D men.
So Kaladin.
Fuck you. I take offense to that.
Wait, I think I missed something. What are you taking offense to? What happened?
What Darkness just said.
I missed what he said. I was trying to find where I was on my paragraph.
Hold on, I guess you missed it, but the rest of the stream and podcast will know.
I said
you'll know when you go back.
Nah,
I'll know when I go back and edit. Yeah.
I said I'm looking at all you people who are infatuated with 2D men.
Oh.
Yeah, I take it.
Including you, Darkness.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. There's just something about those edges.
So Kaladin waves around the Shardblade at the chasm.
Good line art,
Mm-hmm.
And he notes that he's never seen one glow in the way that Shallan's does. So what do you think about the fact that Shallan's Shardblade glows with garnet light when he's never seen another Shardblade do that?
It's an honor blade. I mean, I'm still confused even after all of these chapters why she has a Shardblade.
Especially an honor blade.
Well, I mean,
it's just been passed down, right? What if it's
But wait, so we'll get to it. We're going ahead of where I want to be because I'd have to reference other things. So we'll get to it when I get to that point.
Yep. I just want to say that the light color is important.
Of course it is.
Says who?
Says.
Now you're just saying that color is important?
No, because so if you remember, different Knights Radiant are associated with different colors.
Right. Hold on. let me go
Dalinar's
back to that.
visions, like the shard plate and stuff, also glows specific colors depending on the type of night radiant they are.
What was the color?
If you go up to the wheel that I sent last time,
That's what I'm looking at.
it was garnet light.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, garnet is
No, it
for
doesn't.
the light weavers. Yeah, garnet's
Does
for
that
the
mean
light
that
weavers.
she's... How does that work? Because if it is an honor blade, right?
If it's an honor blade, maybe it's
And-
the light weaver honor blade.
That's what I'm saying. But like, if it is an honor blade, she has the spread. So like, it's not like she's getting the powers only from the fucking or from the sword or whatever.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we ever see pattern when she has the blade out at the same time?
Well, no,
Because
I feel like we have.
we're mainly in Kaladin's point of view during it.
No, but I mean like,
No.
I'll bring up-
Have we ever seen her summon the blade and pattern in the same place, like at the same time? Like she talks to pattern and has the blade in hand.
So the closest I believe we've had is when she kills Tin,
yeah,
and
that's what I was
Pattern
gonna say.
goes off to like basically bring Vatha and his men to come help Shallan, and by the time they arrive, Shallan has her shard blade out and has killed Tin, and they're like, oh, so we don't
Pattern went to do
technically,
something else.
so
Yeah,
we don't
he's still
technically
there.
know. We don't technically know if Pattern got back before them or not, but Pattern was away from Shallan at that sometime during then.
He's allergic to it. He can't be too close.
Well, no, I was more going down the line of I think that the blade could be pattern, but yeah.
No, at that point, then it wouldn't matter if you kill them or not,
What do you mean?
because then you could just use a normal ass.
Well, because
not a
Darkness
normal
has
spell, but, like,
Darkness has the theory that killing a Spren makes a shard blade, which is why you're screaming.
That's not a theory. That's just how.
No,
it works.
I mean, I still am in the same boat as Darkness with the thought of that. However, I think that like they can transform into like literally anything, pretty much, in my opinion. The way it seems, they
That's
just have to
Shardbreaker.
know how to do it. So why couldn't he have changed himself into a Shardblade kind of idea? Like, and then if they die, they.
But they have like a minimal like interaction thing with like their plane, no? So like it wouldn't just be able to cut through anything in general, right?
Oh, you're talking about Shardblades in general.
No, so like Shardblades can cut through anything essentially, right?
Well, shard blades
Besides other Shardblades
cut
and-
through the soul of an object. If the object doesn't have, like, if there's no soul connected, like if it's not an ant, like a living person or creature, it cuts through the object instead.
Right. So the freaking Spren in general don't have like the capacity to affect the real world like that, though, right?
As
I mean,
all we've seen with them affecting the real world is Sylds holding small objects.
Right. I don't
but
know if
that's just
Pattern-
because she's weaker right now. Darkness.
So you think Pattern's at that like max level?
He states to her that she already has all of the
He
words.
Okay, but he was at the dumb stage in the beginning.
I
He
mean,
had all the words then.
Like he's not
He
actually dumb.
says that she had said the words in the past and then forgotten them, which made him
Right.
dumb.
So it just reset.
Wait, what? No, I thought I don't remember. I thought he stated directly that she doesn't need the words because
She
she already
said it before,
knows
yeah.
them.
I believe he says you should know the words, you said them before, but she doesn't remember them, which is why she's not at like a higher level. So it sounds like she's probably been a higher level Lightweaver in the past, but she regressed when she
Wow.
as a child. She was like a
Which
higher
is kind of
level.
weird because in the fucking
Yeah.
memories we don't see her doing any of that shit.
I believe she states either in the last book or this book that when she when she saw her mom like die and stuff was when she basically started all the memory blocks. So I believe before her mother died was when she was a Lightweaver previously, and then the trauma
Why would
of
she
that,
need that though? Like,
we don't know.
interesting.
So the trauma of seeing her mother dead is what caused her to like lose all her abilities.
See, we're learning a valuable lesson here, and it's don't have a mother.
Oh my god! I mean, everybody in most of these books tends to.
Kaladin had a mom, and look how bad his life has been.
Exactly. So did a
Yes.
lot of other people.
Tef lost his
They all
mom. and Look
have
how
bad
great
fathers,
he's
though.
doing.
I mean, so far we have had every father has been bad. I don't know what you're talking about.
We've had fathers that have been there in the beginning but are shitty and terrible, and we have mothers that have either died or just like been there and like somehow end up the catalyst to things.
Alright, so Kaladin then focuses back on the Chasm Fiend, and he backs up, but as he backs up, he stumbles, and the Chasm Fiend instantly lunges to attack. Kaladin drops the Shardblade, rolls out of the way, not wanting to accidentally injure himself. He got out of the way of the legs, but the mandibles of the Chasm Fiend's mouth came at him, and Kaladin had to dodge away again. He picks up the Shardblade and just barely slices the tip of one of the legs. However, all he seemed to do was annoy the creature. Luckily, the chasms made it difficult for the Chasm Fiend to attack, and Kaladin continues to stumble through the darkness to get away. Kaladin eventually runs back towards the Chasm Fiend, sliding under it and stabbing up into its stomach. The Chasm Fiend trumpets angrily and quickly moves around to bite at Kaladin again, catching his leg as Kaladin swings the Shardblade wildly and hopes he hit it in the face. He tries to run away, and he can feel squishing in his boot, although his leg does work. The Shardblade had been flung free from him during the fight, and he could see it embedded in the stone floor a ways off. However, as he tries to get to it, his leg gives out. So what do you think about Kaladin getting injured when he has no Stormlight to heal himself?
They better change his name to Squishy Foot.
Oh god. You concerned about Kaladin's injury, Mythic?
No, not really.
Suddenly he hears Shallan shouting and sees her waving at the creature to lure it away from Kaladin. Kaladin tries to call out for her to stop, but he can't do much. Instead, he tries to get to the Shardblade again, eventually grabbing it as he lays on the ground. Slowly he stands, and the Chasm Fiend rushes at him, but his leg gives out again. Kaladin falls next to a sphere, and he tries to reach for the Stormlight, but all he hears is a faint weeping. As the Chasm Fiend goes to attack him, an illusion of himself stands tall above him, and puffs away into Stormlight as the creature attacks it. Kaladin wonders if he somehow did that. It's like, no, Kaladin, you've never done something like that before, and Syl's not around. It wasn't you. The Chasm Fiend goes to bite Kaladin again, and he stabs upwards. So what do you think about Shallan using her illusions to help Kaladin?
She's
Once again, showing shit she shouldn't be showing.
That's valid.
One just doesn't know how to keep a low profile.
At this point, somebody take her spears.
Yeah, right. Somebody take something. That's for sure.
We switch to Shallan's point of view as she cries out as the Chasm Fiend falls onto Kaladin. She had a sheet of paper with a drawing of herself and one of Kaladin, which she drops as she scrambles out of her rock illusion. She had to be close to the fight to get her illusions to work, as she hadn't been able to send them on pattern. She scrambles over the dead Chasm Fiend's body until she sees half of Kaladin sticking out of its mouth. She gaspes and pulls on him slightly, and he responds with an ow. Shallan can't believe that Kaladin is still alive. So why do you think Shallan couldn't send her illusions off on pattern?
I have no idea.
I know, right? I'm trying to think, but couldn't she do that? Wait.
Should we know this already?
No, wait. Couldn't she make pattern do stuff like that before?
Yeah, right. We seen her. She tried it already once, right? And it worked. Renee?
Sorry, Jesus came over.
Of course Jesus came over. Fucking Jesus. We're doing a podcast.
I
Go
know,
away.
I'm sorry.
Ah, Jesus.
He's just
All
worried
your fault,
because
Jesus.
we have a flood warning in our area.
Well, that sucks.
We get those
I've had flood warnings literally for the last month. All right.
Sorry. What did you say to me, Darkness? I caught like half of what you guys were saying.
Didn't we already see him do these things before?
Well, her touch and illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was doing stuff that we had seen before, but yeah, she's been able to attach an illusion to pattern, even I think make it do walking animations.
Yeah, right. It made it her walking, right, or something like that.
So
He made pattern look like her.
Here, let me
This
find
girl's
the
an
exact
animation
quote.
major.
It should be chapter 72. She's like, oh, pattern something. That's Kaladin's part. Where do we switch to Shallan's point of view? Chasm being crushed down. Shallan. Where are we? Okay, so she says she needed to be close to the fighting for the illusions to work. Better if she'd been able to send out them on pattern, but that was problematic because... And then it kind of cuts off, and she's like, she stopped in front of the still twitching beast, a heap of flesh and carapace. Saying them out on pattern was somehow problematic, but she cuts off and doesn't say why.
What? Woman?
Because pattern's a little bitch and would probably do something he's not supposed to.
Isn't he always, though?
No, that's easy just Shallan.
So Shallan hurriedly begins chopping away parts of the Chasm Fiend to get Kaladin out, and they both make jokes about the situation. Once she gets him out, Kaladin has her bind his legs. She uses parts of her skirt and her right sleeve to bind the wounds, leaving her feeling cold. Eventually, Kaladin decides to get up, not wanting to just sit and wait for the high storm to kill them. He also states he's had worse wounds twice before, so he should be fine. Kaladin,
That was when you were, able to
use Stormlight.
Walk it off.
Kaladin then suggests using Shallan's Shardblade to cut a cubby into the stone of the chasm walls above the waterline. It would still require climbing up
I don't know why he had to think of this. She's had the Shardblade forever. Why couldn't she have thought of that?
Because she doesn't like to think about the Shardblade, because she thinks of it as Mother's soul, so she tries to ignore it most of the time.
Yeah. Mother will always be with you.
Her mother was a spread?
Maybe, I don't know. She keeps saying, this
Oh
is
my
Mother's
God.
soul.
Mother's friend.
I mean, we saw a human body in her vision of,
Oh
Yeah.
wow, and that's gonna
Flashback.
stop.
And it could have been an
spread.
illusion.
Right.
Maybe.
What if that's what it was?
Yeah,
She
I'm
like reached the
coming up with
highest
great
level.
things.
Then they killed her. Right. Wait.
What goodness?
We don't know if the honor blade, the freaking shard blade or whatever, right, was there before she got
She
killed.
never used it in any of the flashbacks.
The earliest known instance we have of Shallan Shardblade is during the flashback to Mother's death.
Right, but it's after her death, not before.
So we don't get to see her mom actually dying. We start off with Shallan staring at her mother's corpse and her father coming in to like take Shallan away.
But that's the thing, though. Like, in my head, I don't know if that's how they would have done stuff, but in my head, like, they could have, or that could have been already like 30 minutes cold, you know?
So yeah, so I mean, they say that her mother had her eyes burned out, so her mom was killed by a shard blade.
Just to have that shard blade.
Yeah, so it's assumed that the shard blade in the room is the one that killed her mom, which is why she refers to it as Mother's soul, because the blade took Mother's soul, and like her dad hides it away in the safe behind his painting, and so she's constantly like, I can see the light from it from behind the painting, even though no one else can, because Mother's soul is in there, which is the shard blade.
I mean, she still has her mother with her then.
It's like a Pokeball, just captured the soul.
At this point.
I mean, isn't it though?
As far as we know, it just kills the soul. It does not capture a soul.
I don't know about that though. Like, you know what they say about eyes?
Oh my god, windows to the soul? Yeah.
That's why they burn out, because the soul's gone. They're burned down.
No! They burn out because, you know, the oath gate.
What? What does that to do with an oath gate?
What are we talking about now? I feel like I lost something here.
I'm very confused as well.
Oh, well, I was just thinking, what if you put too much stuff through the oath gate? I'm still going through that, you know.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, it would still require climbing the walls a bit, which would be difficult for Kaladin. Shallan then climbs up the back of the chasm fiend to get partway up the wall and begins cutting hand and footholds up like a ladder into the stone as per Kaladin's directions. The long sword was very awkward to use though, and in response to her thoughts, the blade shrunk to that of a large knife. Shallan silently gives thanks to the blade as she continues her work. Kaladin shouts up encouragement to her as she begins cutting a cubby for them above the waterline. So what did you think about the solution to survive the high storm?
Wow.
Personally,
I don't understand why the woman who's had this blade forever couldn't have thought about it herself.
As I said, she doesn't like to think about the shard blade.
Do people just not think that shard blades are able to cut anything?
No, I think it's just she doesn't like to acknowledge the fact that she has a shard blade.
Because it killed her mother, apparently.
Yeah.
Technically, she killed her mother.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's our headcanon, but you know.
So after an hour of work, Shallan climbs back down and collapses onto the top of the chasm fiend. She tells Kaladin that he is going up into the cubby with her, even if she has to carry him up. She uses a vine to help him up onto the chasm fiend's back, and then insists that he goes up the wall. However, Kaladin insists that she goes up first and can lean out to lend a hand to him to help pull him up. Once she was up, she held down her hand as Kaladin begins climbing, using mostly his hands. Water began trickling and then gushing into the chasms, and Shallan shouted for Kaladin to hurry. As he reaches a hand up to her, the storm wall hits. So at this point, did you think Kaladin was going to get swept away by the high storm?
I was kind of hoping.
My delusional ass would think that I could just sit there and wait for the flood to come and just swim up.
Good luck with that.
Now, also, my delusional ass also knows that I can't swim, so.
Oh my gosh. How can you not swim? You live in California.
Yeah,
oh yeah, my bad. Let me just turn into a dolphin
100%.
real quick.
Yeah, just saying, he 100% can't swim.
You know, did you guys go swimming together?
Nope. But there were numerous talks about going swimming, and then numerous times he's saying that, you know, he was just gonna drown.
Rock bottom sink, yeah.
Yep.
I was down for it.
Yeah, we were down to go into the hotel pool for sure.
So then we go to Chapter 73, 1,000 Scurrying Creatures, which is a flashback to 1 year ago. So we move to Pashalon's point of view as she goes into Balat's room.
Pashalon?
Yeah, Pashalon. Younger Shalon, for a year ago.
Oh! It's separate!
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she goes into Balat's room where he and Jushu were. Jushu had not looked good over the past 2 years after the creditors had come for him. Balat was jumpy as well as he was getting ready to leave. Shallan had come with a letter that stated they still could not find Hellerin, because he's dead. Balat, however, still wanted to leave tonight, with or without confirmation from Hellerin. His thought was to go to the High Prince's son, who had won information on their father years ago. Jushu wasn't sure the man would still be interested, though, since their father had been gaining the High Prince's favor. Balat mentions how their father wants him to go check on some of the eastern villages, so he'll pretend to go do that and instead pick up Aelita and go to see the High Prince. Shallan asks about their stepmother, and Balat suggests that she could send the woman afterwards when their father goes to see the High Prince. However, as they are talking, Wickham bursts into the room, startling Balat and telling them that father had summoned Aelita to their home. So what do you think about Balat's plan to escape their dad?
No, what? The fact that he literally made the plan, and then all of a sudden it was like this man knew the plan. I was like, wait, what?
Well, I think he knew. Well, he knew the previous plan. This is his new plan of if Halloran doesn't like.
No, I thought no. Wait. I thought it was the plan. Like I'm telling you, when he's making a plan to leave with his wife, correct? I'm pretty sure that's who she is.
Well, his soon to be wife. He wants to leave with like.
Whatever.
He wants to marry her. They haven't currently.
And also that dude's wife too.
Yeah, he wants to leave with the stepmom because Shallan's worried that their stepmom's going to get killed.
She is gonna die. 100%.
Well, I mean, she does. She gets murdered here.
She is gonna die. 100%. So valid point.
Yeah, because remember in the previous flashback, which I think was about 6 months prior to this one or something, Shallan's like, "Hey, Dad's getting worse. You need to leave with Aelita, and you need to take stepmom with you. We need to get in contact with Halloran. He'll help us." That was their plan. But they haven't been able to get in contact with Halloran. They've been trying for like 6 months or something.
Oh wait, no, Kaladin issue.
Yeah, Kaladin issue. so that was the plan. Was Balat, Aelita, and Melise, the stepmom, we're all gonna.
So
and
what
I
if
think Shallan was gonna stay for their brothers.
What if Kaladin just literally fucked them over and he's the reason?
He is the reason that what? What do you mean? Yeah, he is the reason they're dead.
He's kind of the reason.
No, but I mean, it could have still happened. It's not like the father was.
Well, apparently the father is like insanely not observant. What? Yeah, that too. But no.
Can we have a picture of the father?
Ooh.
A picture of the. I'll see if I can find one. I think his name is Lindavar.
I'm just curious to see if I could become his wife too, and I get murdered.
Lindavar.
He looks crazy. I was crazy once.
Yeah. And then what happened?
Locked me in a room.
A rubber room?
Mm-hmm. Or a room filled with rats.
I hate rats.
Rats make me crazy.
Anyways, that is Lindavar.
Linda.
Linda, listen.
Davar.
Listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda. Linda, listen. Oh, damn. You're not wrong. Darkness fucking sexy.
Oh my gosh. So Balat and Wickham rush downstairs, but Shallan moves slowly upstairs to get her pouch before going back downstairs. When she enters the feast room, Balat and her father are shouting. Their father admits that he knows of Balat's plan to leave. Shallan notices something on the floor, and as she walks over, her father tells them that Halloran is dead, and that is why they weren't able to get a hold of him. Shallan eventually sees that the object on the floor is Melisa's freshly dead body. Shallan thinks that the lie has become the truth, and that this is her fault. So what do you think about their father beating Melise until she gave up Balat's plan and then killing her?
Oh my god, wait, what if Shallan killed her mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then used her little magic shit to make it seem like her father killed her, right? And so that drove him a little insane,
Okay.
And then she trauma locked that shit. Cause then if she didn't, she would know.
Maybe?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that until I get a better idea.
Yeah, what did you think Shallan meant by this is all her fault?
Because it is all her fault!
Exactly what I just said.
No, 100%. It is all her fault. She should be the one that's dead.
Oh.
That's what
Like
Melise said.
Yeah, it's just like her stepmom said.
So Shallan calmly goes to get a cup of wine as Balat and her father both pull out their swords. Their father beats Balat to the floor, knocking Balat's sword away. Shallan comes over to him and offers him some wine, stating that he had won. Their father speaks about how disappointed he is in Balat before drinking down the wine that Shallan handed him. Balat tries to hit him but barely scratches him, instead hitting something metallic in their father's coat. Their father screams for Balat to try harder to hit him. Balat drops his sword, blubbering, and their father grabs a poker from the hearth and begins beating Balat with it. He knocks Shallan away when she tries to stop him, causing Shallan to hit her head as she falls to the floor. When she looks back up,
where she loses all her memory.
When she looks back up, Balat's leg is a bloody mess, and their father goes to hit Aelita. Before he can, though, he drops the poker and seems confused. He then slumps over, dead. Shallan feels coldness inside her, the same coldness she felt on the day of her mother's death. She tells Aelita to bind Balat's wounds with his shirt. So did you realize?
Makes me believe 100% that she killed her mother.
So did you realize that Shallan was going to poison their father when she started preparing the cup of wine?
Yes, when she just said, here's some wine. I'm like, what?
Just calmly going over to the wine, pouring a cup of wine, calmly going over to father. You won. Have some wine, Dad.
Like, what? Like, you should be dead, woman.
Did you figure out the darkness?
No. That whole time, I was like... So it's when he started beating the fuck out of that kid, right?
Yeah.
His
Well, you
son,
don't really...
right?
I think he's like a late teen at that point. But...
Whatever, he's a kid. He's a kid.
He's a
He
kid
might
to
still be
me
a
now,
kid.
which
I'm not,
is
I'm not
crazy,
sure how old
but-
he was, but yeah.
Yeah, regardless, you know.
Darkness over here feeling old. He's a kid to me now.
He might actually be your age in this darkness.
No, he's
21?
not.
I don't think so.
Well, because Shallan's like, I think 15, 16, like 16-ish here. Maybe almost 17. And then Balat, she has the twins who are older than her, and then Balat. So the twins are probably closer to like 18, 19, which means Balat's probably closer to like 20, 21.
That's too much math.
So,
So the kid got his ass beat, right?
Sure.
And I was like, "Hey, pull out the sharp blade."
Yeah, like, why are you just letting him do this shit, you know?
Right. I thought she was gonna fight his ass or something, and that's how he fucking dies. But then I remember it was like, wasn't the like story that their father fell ill or whatever?
Yeah, I think they just were like hiding his death and letting
right.
the sons do like
Yeah, but like at that point, I was like, alright, because we didn't know that she was gonna do what she was gonna do, and he was still alive and he was thriving or whatever, right? So I was like, alright, maybe she like kills him with like the sharp blade or something, or she just fights him or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really hoping for it, and then she grabbed the wine, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, like in the middle of all this.
I was too. I was like, why are you being so nonchalant about this?
Nonchalant.
Nonchalant.
I literally was thinking of that pun the entire time.
I think she was actually being very Shallan there.
Why are you being nonchalant about all this, man? Like, come on.
Yeah, and then when he keeled over, I was like, oh well.
So Jushu and Wickham
Old people.
come over to their dead father, and Shallan admits that she kept the blackbane that Wickham had given her years ago, and had put it into their father's wine to kill him. Wickham is panicking as Shallan goes back over to Balat, and Jushu goes through their father's pockets, finding the soulcaster that they didn't know their father had. Balat had broken it when stabbing at their father. Wickham suddenly shouts that their father is still alive, just paralyzed for the moment. Shallan goes back over and coldly states that they need to finish the job. Neither Jushu nor Wickham wanted to do that, and Balat was too injured. Shallan apologizes and thanks her father for what he has done for her, before beginning to strangle him with the necklace he had gifted her years ago. She sings the lullaby that her father used to sing to her as a child until he finally dies. So what do you think about Shallan strangling their father to death?
That made me so happy.
I'm not gonna lie. The lullaby, listening to
I love it.
I need to like go like play it for you. It was so goddamn creepy listening to the lullaby from the person that's reading this book. I was like, this sounds like some Freddy Krueger bullshit.
But yeah, it's very it's a very nice tie-in how like the start of all the stuff we get from Shallan's past starts with her dad singing her this lullaby as he takes her away from her mother's dead corpse to comfort her, and then she comforts her father while he dies in her arms with the same lullaby as she kills him.
Creepy when he was doing
we commented on how creepy it was when he sang it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was comments about it.
Creepy ass fucking shit. Woman.
Like, personally, I fucking loved it. That was great.
Oh, it's so good. I love those
strangling
scenes.
them. It was in front of everyone too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, her brothers are there. Aelita's there.
Just die. Come on, just die.
They're just watching their sister sing this lullaby, strangling their dad with her necklace.
If I were them, I would have gathered everybody, told them to hold hands, and we go duping around the rosy about
Kumbaya.
I mean, they sent her off to go find Yasna soon after. They're like, let's just get her out of our house.
Yeah, like, she's obviously psychotic.
They're like, wow, she's got even more issues than we thought.
I wouldn't go that far.
What, that she's psychotic? She's definitely psychotic.
No, but she's just got the balls to do the things that the others don't.
That need to get done.
Wait. Look at it from the outside perspective, okay? Listen, she methodically and like with no emotion put poison in a man's drink, then walked over to him happily saying, "Here's a drink, Dad," that she obviously poisoned. And then when the poison didn't work, this woman just walks over and strangles him while singing.
Hey,
Sing a
She is
lullaby.
psychotic.
they just gotta get over their stuff. This is a main character, like Ara, you know.
She's straight up psychotic.
I love it. I love it.
I love characters like that.
I'm not saying I don't love characters like that. I'm just saying in general.
This is why I love the flashbacks from this book the most. Like I just feel like Shalon's flashbacks are so good.
Should have started bathing in his blood.
So we go to chapter 74, Striding the Storm. And our epigraph is, you, however, have never been a force of equilibrium. You tow chaos behind you like a corpse dragged by one leg through the snow. Please hearken to my plea, leave that place, and join me in my oath of non-intervention. So what do you think about this person's view of Hoyd, considering this little part?
Okay, non-intervention is one of the worst things you can like have an oath for.
Right?
No matter in what fucking like book series or like movies or whatever in general, it never ends up well.
Well, because this guy that's writing this letter has said in the previous epigraphs, like, every time like we interfere, things get worse. So like we need to just stop interfering.
You mean? I feel like they would have got worse anyways.
I feel like it got worse because everybody's not interfering at the same time.
I mean, I guess it's without context of like, what did Hoyd actually interfere with in any of these books that we've been in? Other than just, here's a story, or like small, like very small things. Like,
yeah,
nothing
you're
has been
thinking about
major.
that. I'm thinking more of like, can you imagine if all the shards gathered together before
Oh my god, yeah.
Odium
And-
fucked them up individually and just fucking ganged up on him?
Oh yeah, that too. That would make a lot more sense.
But no, you wanted to create your own little world and just stay there forever.
Of all of the books that are out already, Midnight, have we gotten all of the shards already? Like,
No.
She
we
said
have
there's
not.
like a couple missing.
I think there's at least one. I think there's more than. Is there one or two missing? Shards.
From last I heard, you said there was like 2 missing.
There's
Was
one that we don't know the name of yet.
we don't know the name of, but do we know if it has a vessel?
Well, they all, as far as we know, it's not shattered, so it would have a vessel. So there's 1, 2, 3,
So
4.
how do we know that Hoyd isn't one of the vessels?
Because he specifically is not. We know that he's not. I don't remember if you guys have gotten the confirmation or not yet, but he is specifically not a shard. There are 4 shards plus the unknown shard that we do not have a world for yet and have not seen.
Like, in all of the books that are out right now, you're saying?
Yes, there is
Okay.
Invention, Mercy, Valor, and Whimsy, and then the unknown shard.
Whimsy.
Valor and
And I believe people have speculated that the unknown shard has something to do with like a survival instinct of some sort.
survival.
Interesting.
Yeah, so those
I
are
was
the.
really kind of hoping Hoyd might have been a.
Yeah, Hoyd is
Survival.
specifically not a shard. He is definitely not a shard.
The final shard is Batman.
Oh my. No, it's Robin.
And I think you guys know the name. You guys have seen every shard except for one, which is in Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. The shard from there is the only one I think you guys have not either seen or heard the name of yet.
Wait, and how many books do we have left?
Oh, well, because you have the 2 main Stormlight books plus the 2 Stormlight novellas. You have all of Mistborn Part 2, which we know the shard in Mistborn. And then we have Tress, Yumi, and Sunlit Man, and then Stormlight 5's coming out.
Okay, so we don't have a lot of like.
You don't have a
Other
lot of like
series.
new, yeah. So
Yeah, okay.
Tress has no shard. It's not a shard planet.
Shardless? It's shardless?
Yes.
Oh my god.
And then Yumi has a new shard.
I didn't even realize that could be a thing.
Shirtless.
Well, remember, Six of the Dust. They don't have a shard, even though they remember how Chris is very confused that they have a perpendicularity, even though there's no shard there. That was the whole Six of the Dust thing.
Which one was that? Was
The
that
birds.
Sand
It
people?
was the birds.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's why I don't remember it, because I just.
the one with the Pokemon.
Yeah.
But with all the animals and plants that were trying to kill everyone with psychic powers.
Pokemon.
All right. So we switch back to Kaladin's point of view as he grabs Shalon's hand. Boulders slam around in the plateaus above, and the water surged below him. Kaladin thought their hands would slip, but with a sudden strength, Shalon pulls Kaladin up and into the small cubby, cut out of the stone wall. They huddle together in the small.
Strength.
Yep, definitely not Stormlight enhanced.
Yeah.
They huddle together in the small cubby, and Kaladin is glad that it's facing westward so the plateau takes the brunt of the storm. He does worry about the steadily rising water, but it doesn't get up high enough to reach them just yet. Kaladin briefly mentions being hung out in a high storm previously, but he doesn't tell the story just now. He worries about Syl as water rushes in and threatens to pull them out of the alcove. Kaladin holds on to the sides, though, to keep them from being washed out. Kaladin sees a glowing light out in the storm, large, alien-like figures that strided through the storm and glowed. Kaladin can barely see them, though. Shallan insists on him telling the story so that she can be distracted from the storm. What do you think about these large glowing creatures in the high storm?
The stone thingies that we saw in that one place?
Yeah.
No. Oh, you think they're the big stone creatures?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do we get a name of those things?
I think they're called. I think we get. I don't remember if you get told, but we've had the name before, which is Thunderclass.
Thunderclap.
Clasts.
It's all Pokemon.
They do sound like Pokemon. Yeah.
Believe it's like that.
Thunderclassed. Gotcha.
So there's no chance we can get pictures of those?
I think you've only seen dead ones in the previous thing, so I can see if I can find a dead one. Because you've seen, they've mentioned them being like collapsed in some of Dalnar's visions.
Yeah. I'm assuming they're just like huge rock golems.
Thunderclast.
Yeah,
Maybe that's where the
probably.
boulders come from. They're always fucking flying around in the freaking storms.
Okay, that's not a dead one. I need a dead one.
That's very much alive.
Oh, so we have the live ones. Got it.
Well,
Or maybe we
saw
just get
them.
more Dalinar visions with live ones.
No, we literally just saw them. What do you mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
What if I type in dead Thunderclast?
Why are you trying to send us pictures of corpses?
Yeah, like that's just so
Why
weird.
not?
You're into some weird shit, Midnight.
She is.
Okay, wow, I'm getting really not a lot here.
You could always just send us a live one. You know?
Yeah, like what does it matter? You gotta like ruin our immersion or something? Oh, that's cool as fuck. Holy shit.
And that's like,
That is not what I thought.
that thing has a dick.
I'm sorry?
It does.
Do you not see it?
No.
It's like right between its
It's
legs.
got armor. It's got like,
That is not
fake
armor,
armor.
bro.
it's not a dick. Oh my god.
Not
Well, then it's armor for his dick, because that shit is like
Oh my.
popping all out. What the fuck?
So Kaladin begins telling Shallan his story in a paraphrased form. He begins with becoming a slave because of Amaran's lust for a Shardblade, and goes into his time in Bridge 4 without mentioning Syl. After ending up with him saving Dalinar and Adolin, Shallan admits that she killed her father. She then goes on to explain her childhood and what led
everything.
her to killing her father.
This woman just tells everything, to be honest.
When she mentions Hellerin, Kaladin realizes it must have been the Shardbearer he killed, but he doesn't mention this. Shallan goes on to mention how she had wanted to try to rob Yasna of her soulcaster, but that the woman had been gracious enough to keep her as her ward and even set her up with Adolin, which I feel like makes absolutely no sense when you don't tell him that it was because you're both Radiance. Like, why would she just forgive you for that?
Wait, doesn't he also make a comment about that though? Like, not the Radiant part, but like the why would she have kept you?
I think he says, like, what the fuck was wrong with you? I think he thinks, like, why would you try to steal a soulcaster from someone like Yasna? Like, that's crazy. Yeah, I think he's a bit confused by her story.
Yeah, as anyone in their right mind would be.
But yeah, so what did you think about Kaladin and Shallan sharing their past traumas?
She tells way too much shit, to be honest.
The Knights Radiance,
Hmm?
they're just like a therapy group.
Basically. I mean, Scylla said before, all the Knights Radiants were broken people.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually their version of therapy, which is why, like, therapy doesn't exist anymore, because it was only the Knights Radiants who knew about therapy.
It's
So when they got
fine.
disbanded...
Leaving the world's hopes to a broken bunch of people that could totally not break again, you know.
Definitely worked out well for them.
Mm-hmm.
So Kaladin goes to respond, but suddenly he no longer sees Shallan. He panicked before realizing he was meeting with the Stormfather again. He faces the large face in the storm, and the Stormfather calls him Child of Honor. Kaladin speculates that Shallan is a Surgebinder, and the Stormfather just rumbles in response. Kaladin then asks about Syl, and the Stormfather replies that Kaladin had killed her.
Killed her! What the fuck, man?
He
Why
calls
would you
him-
do that?
He also calls him Child of Tanavas, which I believe I revealed to you guys earlier is the name of Honor's vessel. He's just kind of calling him Child of Honor twice.
No.
Pretty sure
His
last-
vessel went and fucked his mother.
Okay. As he says that she cannot be brought back as she is broken, like what men did to all the ones he loved before her. So yeah, what do you think about Stormfather saying, like, yeah, Kaladin, you fucking killed Syl?
Still, yeah, come on, Storm Daddy.
I mean, we knew that already, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. We already made that assumption that he killed her, but I still think she comes back.
Hmm.
He's gonna do some like grand gesture of honor and yada yada. I don't know.
Do you think he's gonna figure out a way to abide by both of his vows?
No, I think he's gonna abide by one of them and then fuck the other dude over after because he already abided by it.
I see.
I think he's gonna abide by his vow to whatever the dude's name is that's trying to kill the
Shalash?
king. That's it. And then he's going to like after he's already done so, he'd be like, "Here, you like open a door, basically. Here you go. Here's the door to the king. So I gave you my part of this is over, kind of idea." And then immediately go defend the king because that is his other part. And you know.
I mean, if technically that may be like abiding by both the vows though, because he never vowed to actually like allow him to kill the king, just to give them a way
give
in.
him give him the opportunity to kill the king. And okay, here you go, buddy. Here's your opportunity. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna fight you.
It's like, here's the opportunity, vow fulfilled. Now I fight you, vow fulfilled to Dalinar.
I mean, yeah, exactly. But I don't even think I mean, I know that they kind of say that that's the way that why she's gone and stuff. But I think he really killed her because he used the last of her ability right at the end there, kind of thing. Like that's why she screamed because she died, and then he's gonna, like I said, grand gesture, bring her back. She's not dead. There's no way. There's no way. She's got to be around here to annoy darkness.
Literally just to annoy darkness.
That's the only reason she exists in this book is to annoy darkness.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely listening to our podcast.
She's the one listening to the podcast, Sil.
No.
She's like, I'll give darkness hope that I'm gone, and then I'll come back.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
So suddenly Kaladin is back in reality, and Shallan mentions that she also saw the Stormfather. She wants to draw him, but is unable to in their current situation. Kaladin's thoughts go back to Sil, and he tries to will the Stormlight into himself. But nothing happens. He watches as the storm slowly passes, the water below receding until it was gone. Kaladin turns to see Shallan had fallen asleep, curled up in a ball next to him. Kaladin felt drained, and he soon also succumbed to sleep. So do you think the Stormfather also spoke to Shallan, or did she just see his face?
She saw him.
I think she just saw his face.
Yeah.
But it would be absolutely amazing if, she met Storm Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
They just had a nice little conversation about pattern or something. I'm sure it was all good.
Yeah, I'm sure
Oh.
he didn't call her daughter of whatever. Give me a second and I'll come up with the name of it.
Where the fuck did I hear that she was gonna kill Pattern?
I think Pattern's told her that.
Yeah, Pattern tells her all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So we just know they're all gonna fucking kill their friend.
Never mind. Never mind. I can't even make that joke. Damn it.
Okay. So we get chapter.
I was gonna make the joke that he says son of whatever to Kaladin. He was gonna say daughter of whoever to her, but when you go to that thing, that she's the one that's named there. So I can't even do that.
Oh no, she's not. No. She's not the one named. The Herald's the one named. She's named after the Herald.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay,
Shalash.
well, yeah.
That's the Lightweaver Herald.
Yeah.
Shallan's just named after Shalash. Do you think he would
Gotcha.
call her?
Daughter of Shalash.
Daughter of Shalash.
Mhm.
But the thing is,
Shalash.
he doesn't say for Kaladin. I don't think Tanavast isn't the Windrunner guy. He would be saying child of Jezrien then.
Oh,
He's
does
saying-
he? Oh, I didn't even think about
He's
that.
saying the shard for honor,
whatever,
not
yeah.
the Herald.
Mhm.
Anyway, so chapter 25 or 75, not 25. True Glory.
25.
We're all the way back. 75, True Glory. We get Shallan's drawing of the Chasm Fiend, which I'm assuming she does after they get back. That's what that Chasm
What's
Fiend
up?
looked like.
Wait, is that her drawing of the Chasm Fiend? Like,
Yeah.
canon-wise, like this is what she
Yeah, I told
shows?
you some of the previous drawings are specifically
Yeah,
Shallan's
wait,
drawings.
So wait, if she is showing that, I guess he doesn't know, does he? That she.
This might be a personal
records
drawing.
it.
This might not be a drawing of the corpse that she gives to anyone. This might just be a personal drawing of hers for her studies.
Okay, because I was gonna say, because if this is what she's showing them, like anybody who knows like that she documents things like almost like taking a picture kind of thing, like would know that like it wasn't dead.
Yeah, no, I think this is like it would be more so like this might be a private studious thing for her.
So she's a good drawer even when she's not using her powers? That's crazy.
So yeah, so our final epigraph here is the Cosmere itself may depend on our restraint. Yeah, why do you think that the writer seems to think that them not intervening will somehow like help the Cosmere itself?
Probably will, to be honest.
You too busy looking at the Chasm Fiend, Darkness?
Yeah, the mouth is a little interesting.
Wait, what? Why did I not see
The
that?
inside of the mouth, the top right part of it.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Anyway,
It looks like the creature, the sand thing from Dune
I was thinking about Alien.
or Alien. Yeah, aliens.
So we get Dalinar's point of view at the start of this chapter as he walks with Amram, the man asking him to at least speak with Sadeas before he goes out to the center of the Shattered Plains. Dalinar eyes Amram for a moment, also catching Navani's eyes for a moment as she knew the plans he had for Amram. His soldiers are running around preparing to head out by midday, and suddenly horns are heard regarding a chrysalis that is not far out. Dalinar asks one of his scribes to tell the two high princes to not bother going out for it. So what secret plans do you think Dalinar has for Amram that we don't know about? He's like, oh yes, Navani knows of my plans, but we don't fucking know.
Marriage. Always marriage.
He wants to marry Amram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Kaladin would be real happy about that.
Oh, happy. I mean, it's not like he's not already really happy with.
Dalinar's not the one marrying them.
Oh, who's marrying Amram?
Kaladin.
Oh, of course, yes.
Oh,
yeah, they're doing a contract marriage.
Oh God.
That's what Dalinar wants. They want them to, let go of their differences.
So that they can marry each other? Ew.
No, they're gonna do that in order to let go of their differences.
Then Kaladin will be related to Roshon through marriage.
Who the fuck is Roshon?
The city lord that sent his brother off to war.
Oh yeah, lovely. You see, he's getting past all his trauma.
Did you have any thoughts about his secret plans, Mythic?
Hopefully to murder him.
When I say shit like that, it's just because I literally have no idea what's going
Fair.
on. Like what's gonna happen.
So Amram comments on the fact that Sadeas won't like that Dalinar is leaving a gem heart out there, and he'll probably send his own troops. Dalinar replies that Sadeas will do as he wishes. Amram, however, is insistent that Dalinar needs to work with Sadeas, even if Sadeas may betray Dalinar again in the future, as the Voidbringers are returning. Dalinar, however, is not willing to work with Sadeas again. He changes the subject to that of the madman, but Amram insists that the man likely never had a Shardblade and was just raving about one randomly. A woman then runs up to them, announcing to Dalinar that Stormlest had come out of the chasms. So why do you think Amram is so insistent on Dalinar and Sadeas working together?
He wants Dalinar dead.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
Again.
So we skip forward a bit to Dalinar running to the chasms where he sees a group of men in blue uniforms blocking the way. A surgeon is shouting for the people to move. Dalinar pushes through the crowd to see a very tired Kaladin, who stands and gives a very tired salute, even though Dalinar insists he doesn't need to stand. Kaladin also gestures towards Shallan, stating he has brought back one future daughter-in-law, although the packaging is a bit damaged. Dalinar doesn't understand how they survived.
I said, that's just hilarious. I brought you one future daughter-in-law, even though she's a little damaged.
Dalinar doesn't understand how they survived the fall or the high storm, and Kaladin just replies that he had wanted to get back before the high storm, but they got caught by a chasm fiend. He then takes out the creature's gem heart and rolls it over to Dalinar. So what did you think about Kaladin's response to Dalinar's question about how they survived?
That's badass. And I wish they kept the story that way.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was thinking too. Like, it would have just once again solidified that Kaladin is a absolute badass.
Dalinar's just absolutely baffled. He's like, how the fuck?
She will live. Like, what?
So Shallan cuts in, lying about finding the chasm fiend dead and rotting, and using its shell to climb up into the crack in the chasm walls to survive the high storm. Kaladin agrees after a moment, and Dalinar thinks that Kaladin is a terrible liar.
Yes, 100%. He's a terrible liar.
Navani and Amram then arrive, and Navani instantly runs and starts fussing over Shallan when she sees her. Amram disappears at some point, because he's probably like, oh shit, this guy survived again. I gotta go.
Yep.
Dalinar thinks that Shallan doesn't seem to know how to react to Navani. Kaladin then tells Dalinar that he needs to speak to Shallan before going out on his expedition onto the Shattered Plains. And then Dalinar asks Kaladin if what he's been looking for, but Kaladin reluctantly replies that he may once have been, but not anymore. Dalinar frowns, but accepts this answer. So yeah, what do you think about Shallan's lie about what happened to them?
That if that actually worked would be crazy.
Wait, what was the question?
What did you think about Shallan's lie to Dalinar about what happened to them down in the chasms?
Well, I wish it wasn't, what they went with.
A lie.
But...
Also, do you think at this point Kaladin would have revealed his powers to Dalinar if he still had them?
No.
He probably would have. Like, he straight up just said he fought a fucking chasm fiend.
No. I mean, he said that, and then it was immediately changed, but yeah.
And then Dalinar's like,
it wasn't because of
yeah,
him,
I
it was
don't
because
believe
of
you.
Well, at that point, he would have just fucking flared his shit up, no?
I mean, if he'd had the powers, it probably would have been much easier to fight the chasm fiend, and he wouldn't have been as injured.
He would have already been healed by the time he got back.
Exactly.
But
he just flown them out of the chasms.
But the thing is, he went with the honesty route instead of just saying, oh, I got injured on the way here. Because, we fucking fell 3,000 fucking meters.
Yeah, right. I mean, that would have made way more sense, to be honest.
Right. Just don't bring the gem heart.
Or bring the gem heart and like stuff it under like Shalon's titties or something. Divide it.
Gosh. So we switch to Shalon's point of view as she lays in bed, freshly bathed.
Wait, or bring the gem heart and just say I found it. It cushioned my fall.
Oh God.
Oh,
Your whole back
Oh,
would be
those-
broken.
that'd be a good like back crack.
Yeah, so we switch to Shalon's point of view as she lays in bed, freshly bathed. Pattern is next to her, reciting a conversation between Dalinar and Navani from when Shalon had been taking her bath. Dalinar had been impressed with Shalon's map drawing abilities and was insistent on taking Shalon out with him to the center of the Shared Plains, but Navani was very against it in case something happened again. She stops Pattern though when he mentions Navani and Dalinar getting very close to each other. She's like, yeah, no, that's too private. Shalon insists to Pattern that she needs to go out and see if the Oathgate is still intact, although she worries that she won't be able to open it as Pattern agrees that she is not quite a Knight Radiant yet. Pattern explains that he doesn't know too much though, as he wasn't properly himself back then, and the rest of the cryptids that were around at that time had died. He mentions that the majority of the intelligent Spren died back during the Recreance. Only a few, like the Stormfather, survived. Pattern then mentions that Shalon needs to speak more words, more truth, to become more like the Knights Radiant.
Storm Daddy.
So what do you think about the fact that the majority of the intelligent Spren died during the Recreance?
What was the recurrence again?
The Recreance was when all the Knights Radiant gave up their shards and disappeared, disbanded.
Well,
So what you're saying is they didn't give up their shards, the shards died.
I think at that point it's like a battle of desperation. Everybody who had their ties with their spren, pulled the power to the past the limit, like Kaladin did.
Mm.
I feel like that's the most valid.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a high possibility. Not gonna lie.
That's why they're like, oh, you're gonna do it all over again because what other route do they have? They've done it multiple times.
So Adolin then bursts into the room, not allowing Shalon to speak before he wraps her up in a hug. Shalon enjoys the smell of his cologne and then kisses him. After the kiss, Adolin goes on about how he's going to make sure she doesn't have anything like that happen again. However, this causes Shalon to get anxious, and she tells him not to say that, as she doesn't need to be protected, and she won't be locked away again.
Oh, not the trauma.
So what do you think?
Trauma.
What do you think about Shalon's response to Aelin wanting to keep her protected?
The trauma.
Does Adolin have enough trauma to become a Shardbreaker?
I don't know. I mean, his mom's dead, but he seems to be a generally happy person. He seems quite well adjusted.
Yeah, very odd.
What do you? Okay, I don't know if you're gonna be able to answer this without actually giving anything away, but what do you think fits his order more? What do you think his order would be?
Well, the fact that she's thinking about it, Darkness, means
I'm looking at to compare what we know about him to the specific traits on that wheel that I shared.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think he would be a bondsmith.
I feel like this is me just trying to do propaganda here, but I feel like it'd be more my order.
Will Shaper?
Yeah.
I could see Will Shaper. I could see Stoneward. I feel like he would be a dependable person and resourceful. I don't think he would be an Elsecaller. I don't think he would be a Lightweaver. I don't think he's a Truth Watcher because he really doesn't care about learning shit. I don't think.
Maybe it's a Skybreaker.
Maybe. I could see Skybreaker. I don't think I would see Dustbringer. I don't consider him obedient, even though he is brave.
Well, I mean, technically
Maybe.
he's obedient considering that he changed his whole fucking outlook for his father.
I guess that's true. Yeah, Dustbringer. I feel like he probably could fit about half of them with just the little bit we know. Half of them fit, half of them don't. Really, in my opinion, I feel like he could be a Windrunner.
Now we just gotta figure out what trauma he has that ties him to those.
I don't know. It's not very honorable, to be honest.
He is.
Nah, he flip flops on his honor. I don't know. At 1 second he's honorable to the crown, and another he's honorable.
He's honorably dishonorable.
I think the three least likely I think would be the kind of
Lightweaver.
The Elsecaller, Lightweaver, Truth Watcher, that kind of bottom left kind of corner. I think would be the three least likely.
For sure.
I think those are the three least likely for him to be.
Yeah, definitely bottoms. Adolin is definitely a top, so he can't have any bottom energy.
Okay.
That means that Renarin would be at the bottom left.
Yeah,
you think
he's definitely a bottom for sure.
Okay. So Dalinar and Navani then enter the room, and Dalinar says he has a request of Shalon. Before he can make his request, she states that she wants to go with him to the Shared Plains, as she thinks there is an ancient city there that Yasna was interested in learning about. Dalinar is happy.
Not to bring the motherfuckers. I was like, no.
Fuck you.
Dalinor's
Bring my boy.
What
Dalinor's
if
happy.
Renarin gets a husband though? Like that ass.
Maybe. Dalinar is happy with this request, but Navani keeps her face emotionless. Dalinar's request is that Shallan makes a map of the full Shared Plains if she can on the expedition, and Shallan agrees as she says she can do it. However, Shallan does suggest that Dalinar leave behind all of his parshmen.
I was like, no, don't do that. The one dude needs to be there.
But he's not
Verlaine?
there.
Bridge 4, man.
He's not there. He left.
He left. Verlaine left. Remember?
No, he needs to be there. Yes, but he needs to be there. So
Maybe he will be.
Yeah, but
he's
he's
not
gonna
with
be
them right
there.
now.
Yeah.
We don't know where he is currently.
We absolutely know where he's at.
We don't technically know where he's at.
where is he then, Darkness?
He's with the others.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He's
Darkness
headed towards
definitely
the
thinks
others.
Darkness definitely thinks he's with Parshendi.
That's what I think. I think he's gonna end up there. I don't know if he's there now.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many in-world days
Years.
it's been since he
Years.
left. It's definitely not been years.
You don't know that. Parshendi years could be different than normal people years.
However, Shallan does suggest
What's
that
your lifespan?
Anyway, she suggests she leaves behind all the parshmen. Dalinar's confused, but after confirming with Navani that they don't really need them out on the Shared Plains, he agrees. Adolin also pipes up for Dalinar to trust Shallan with this. Dalinar then states that they'll be leaving within the hour. So what do you think of Shallan being able to convince Dalinar to not bring the parshmen?
I'm
She's
surprised he
very,
listened because he's not very
yeah.
known to listening to a bunch of shit. But
Yep.
He's like, well, I guess we don't really need them.
Also, I was being dead ass. Do we know what the lifespan of a Parshendi is?
Well, we know that, I think it's pretty similar to humans because we know that Eshonai was there the night Gavilar died, and she's not really considered, like, elderly or anything at this point, and that was, like, 6-7 years ago. She was old enough at that point to go with them, and be, like, she was, like, kind of, like, a map maker and stuff, and she's the one who, like, discovered them and everything, and then she's currently part of the 5, but she's also not, like, elderly, like, her mom's still around and stuff. So I think it's probably similar to human lifespan.
Huh.
It could be a little less, it could be a little more, but I don't think it's like wildly different because she hasn't very obviously aged significantly in the last 7 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we get our one interlude that we read this time, which is Lon, which is apparently Mythic's favorite character.
Yep. Only because at the very end. At the very end, I was like, "Yep, you're my favorite now."
Okay. So
I won't do anything. I won't do anything to them. Instantly does something to them. Fuck yeah. Go on.
Oh, do you mean Pi? Pi's your favorite?
Is that who I'm talking about?
Pi
Maybe
is
that's
the
what I'm
woman, Lon is the guy.
when I said Lon, I meant like the actual like chapter. But
Oh, okay.
the
Yeah,
interlude is
no,
called
I think you
whatever,
mean
but
Pi. Pi is the one
Yeah,
who
that's what I meant.
calls out the queen and gets executed.
Yeah, but he was like, "I won't do that," and then does it anyways.
It's
I was
a
like,
she.
yeah, whatever.
Pi's a woman, but yeah.
They were like, "I won't
Yeah.
do that," and then they went and did it, and I was like, "Yep, you're my."
Like,
you're-
I'll go
you're
along
my
with your
new favorite."
plan. Definitely does not go along with the plan.
Yeah, I was like, "Yep, makes sense. I like this person."
So
I
we
thought
switch.
that was the person's name from the. book,
Yeah,
but-
no, Lon is the one we get the point of view of. So yeah, we switch to the point of view of Brother Lon as he tells his new ardent pupil that she has come to the easiest job in the world. When the new ardent asks if he's her senior ardent, Lon confirms corrects her grammar, as Queen Aesudan likes people around her to be refined. And if you remember, Aesudan is Elikar's wife. So this whole thing's about Elikar's wife.
Wait, who's
Alucard
Elikar's
the
wife?
King.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wait, who in this story is Elikar's wife?
Queen Aesudan. The one that the
okay,
girls
one
calling
the
out.
the one that executes my favorite person. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Queen Megalodon.
Yeah, Megalodon.
So the woman, however, states that she has been an ardent in Kholinar for over a year. However, Lon mentions that the woman has been persistently asking to be an ardent to the queen, specifically, and that he's been told she needs some direction. As they walk, they pass the Circle of Memories, which is a round room with 10 lamps to represent the 10 ancient epoch kingdoms. An 11th lamp represents the twinkling halls, and a keyhole in the center represented ardents needing to ignore borders and look into the hearts of men, or something. Lon wasn't particularly sure. They then end up on a walkway between buildings that has a wonderful view of Kholinar, as the palace is up on a hill. Lon thinks that the Almighty must have been drunk when he carved out the area for the city. So what do you think about the Circle of Memories?
It's a new druid pathway.
You're not wrong, though.
New true subclass.
They're a bunch of druids, guys! Yay!
Yeah, what do you think of this
What-
this room with
what
the lamps for all the different epoch kingdoms?
Oh, right, with all the colors and shit.
No, the colors and shit was like the rocks in like the city.
Oh,
The Circle of Memories was a room that had a bunch of like paintings, and they had like the lamps representing the different kingdoms, as well as one for the Tranquilline Halls. And then they had like the keyhole that Lon was like, I don't know, it means something about like hearts of men or something.
Yeah, it means something.
yeah, I totally remember that.
Alright. Lon then goes on about how everyone, even Light Eyes, have jobs out in the city. And their job is to just serve the queen, which is easy as long as they carefully serve her in the same way. The woman, Pi, states that they are only here to tell the queen what she wants to hear. Lon states that this sort of attitude is what he was told to be concerned about. He states that the queen, worried that the Almighty is not happy with her, which Pi cuts in that she should be worried about that. But before she can clarify why, Lon cuts her off. He states that the queen thinks that by treating her Ardents well, the Almighty will favor her, so they get lots of perks. Pi replies that their job is to tell the queen the truth, and then Lon insists that they do that. Why do you think Elhokar's wife thinks the Almighty doesn't like her?
They don't. Nobody likes her.
Yasna didn't like her.
Yeah, nobody likes her.
Clearly, Elhokar.
Apparently Elhokar likes her. Well, I mean, he has been away from her for like fucking 7 years.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I wonder why. Oh.
He's like, yeah, you can stay at home in the castle. I'm gonna go off for a decade or almost.
Giving her a kingdom to rule just to get away from her is kind of crazy.
So Pi, however, begins to list the things that the queen is doing wrong, such as lavishing in feasts and debauchery while people starve in outer towns. Lon insists that life is good for the people, but Pi replies that life is only good for the queen and her chosen, as she even cancelled the Beggar's Feast, which I don't know if you guys remember, but we get told, I believe, at like, I don't remember if it's in the, I think it might be in the prologue of this book, that because like during the feast that they have with the Parshendi, back when Gavilar dies, they have like their feast, and they say it's like tradition and custom that when the king and like the kingdom has like all the nobles and everything have a feast, they also have a separate feast outside for the beggars. So if they're lavishing in food, the beggars and poor people also get a whole bunch of feast on their own. So apparently
That's
she's
a pretty good system, though.
Yeah, so apparently she's like gotten away with this though. The queen said, "Fuck the beggars feast. We ain't doing that no more."
But why?
Don't know. They don't
She
say.
doesn't want to do it
That's
anymore.
like that's so stupid. That's like calling for an uprising. And at that point, considering what fucking pie did, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite
apple
fairy.
pie.
Yeah, apple pie.
More like Lavis pie, because she doesn't
I
eat
should have
anything.
fucking okay. So I'm horrible at numbers and
Mm.
math, but it would have been great if I could just pull out her name and say it in the freaking pie format.
If only
414,
Pi was a light weaver
blah,
and her
blah, blah.
cryptic's name was 3.14 whatever. Because Pattern says that their names are actually like numbers or like mathematical formulas. So Pi's spread would just be have their name as Pi as well, but it's like the symbol Pi.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be great. But yeah, so she cancels the beggar feast, and as Lon continues to lead her around and tell her about all the benefits she was going to get for being one of the queen's Ardents, Pi's face only seems to grow darker. Lon leads her through the kitchens, and Pi seems upset by the exotic foods, as she is from the Devotery of Denial, and thus doesn't really eat much besides bowls of lavis grain. Which Lon is like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And what the fuck are lavis greens?
I think it's basically like she's saying she eats like oatmeal or porridge like every day,
Okay.
all day.
That's valid. Oatmeal's great.
But like, I think it's like unseasoned. It's just like mushy, unseasoned porridge or oatmeal.
I don't mind that, honestly.
She only has
I've-
fruit on special occasions.
Is eating oatmeal raw like crazy? Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know. I've not had oatmeal before.
What?
Yeah, I've never had oatmeal.
Wild.
I don't know. I just never.
Yeah, I've eaten oatmeal raw and it tastes great in my opinion. But...
Sure. I don't know. I won't judge you because I don't know.
All I have to say, Darkness, is that's such poor people behavior.
I used to eat cereal dry out of the box, like without milk or
No, that's
anything.
like nothing compared to
Easy.
oatmeal though.
Yeah, oatmeal.
Okay.
Yeah, eating oatmeal with like
Nothing.
that's wild. Yeah, that's wild.
It's really good though. Like
No, it's not.
you just
Like-
you just
What?
you know.
Oh my god.
It's
Anyways,
Like, I'm never gonna look at you the same now. That's just disgusting.
It's not.
It really is though.
It tastes great. I don't even know that.
so eventually Lon leads Pi outside to where there's a large pile of rotting food. He explains that the Ardent who used to distribute the leftover food to the poor had died a few years ago, but a new Ardent could do great work distributing the excess food to beggars and others. However, if someone tried to take away the good things the Ardents had, they might get sent away. Lon then leaves Pi to her contemplation, only going back to talk to her after dinner. I think he also mentions he has an afternoon massage at one point. Pi tells him that the Ardents don't consider the spiritual cost of their gluttony, and that things weren't much better before Gavilar died, as he went on so many hunts and wars. She says that the Alethi don't seem to truly consider the Almighty anymore, even though they burn glyph wards and swear by him. So what do you think about Lon's attempt to give Pi something good to do in Kholinar?
I feel like the ultimate good that he could have done for her and everyone around her is probably like prison.
I don't disagree though.
Pi then states that she has accepted Lon's suggestion to stay and try to do some good here, to change things. Which, I mean, that's kind of what she tries to do. She doesn't fully
she's
lie.
gonna... Okay, but like, she literally pulled off the perfect initiation for like people to open their eyes, you know?
Yep.
Yep.
Agree.
Lon thinks he
But
shouldn't be so worried, but the next morning proves him wrong. In the People's Hall, Pi had spent all night writing 10 large glyphs representing the 10 foolish attributes of the 10 fools, and then a paragraph underneath each about how the Queen exemplified each of those attributes.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Pi was executed the next morning, and the riots started the following evening.
Oh, I love it so much. Just this is how you're a fool in 10 ways.
So yeah, what did you think about? So basically, I think she kind of like gave like the 7 deadly sins, but the 10 foolish behaviors.
The 10 commandments. Yep.
She's like, this is how you're a glutton. This is how you're wrathful. This is how you're lustful. This is how you're envious. These are all the horrible things about you, and all the things you need to fix.
Yep. And then you're gonna execute me for it, but here you go. I told you anyways.
Yeah, but yeah, what did you think about that? I mean, we kind of got Mythic's point of view, but what did you think about Pi's stuff?
Personally, first thing I would have done is I would have splashed paint all over that thing and executed her on the spot.
But do you think
it's pretty valid? No, wait, it's pretty valid to start. We're gonna be hearing a bunch of shit about how there people uprising and shit now.
Yeah, so
that's like a whole Joker movement.
Yeah, that's my next question. Is what do you think this means for Alethkar as a kingdom? Apparently, the people are rioting.
Yeah.
They're gonna wake up finally.
There's not gonna be much of a kingdom to come back to. But
Dalinar's trying so hard to save the kingdom, and Aesidon's fucking it all up for him. He thought Sadeas was an issue. It seems like Aesidon's way more of an issue.
Yeah.
All right, that was our final chapter. Finally, this was a long one. I have several overview questions, though. First of all, who all do you think is going to be going with Dalinar on the assault? Of kind of like our
we know Kaladin's coming. And
Kaladin, Shallan,
Adolin's definitely coming. I feel like what's his name is gonna pull up too. Sadeas.
All of Bridge 4.
Sadeas is gonna pull up. Didn't they mention how Sadeas wasn't gonna be happy or some shit about them not going on runs anymore or stuff?
Well, he left like the one gem heart because he's like, we're preparing for like leaving basically like today on this expedition, and like it's gonna take them too long to come back, and he was hoping that they'd send some armies with him. So he's like, I don't want to wait for them to like go and come back because they're kind of slow. So it was just that one gem heart run he didn't want to go on because they were heading in. I think he was also like, we can kind of just get it on the way, like whatever.
That doesn't seem like a good idea considering that they probably lose a shit ton of soldiers anyway.
Well, they were saying remember the Parshendi weren't contesting them for the gem hearts anymore. Remember the Parshendi started acting weird.
Yeah.
Since they started taking storm form, they're not contending for the gem hearts anymore.
How many days till that one day?
Their holiday? God, it's got to be like to the holiday. I don't know, but the countdown I think has got to be like
a
9. No, I think it's like 8 or 9 days at this. It was 11 days, I think, when Kaladin fell into the chasms, and it's been like 2 or 3 days since then. So I think it's like because their weeks are 5 days. I think it's like a week and a half. Also, how many High Princes do you think will follow Dalinar out to the Parshendi? How many do you think he got on his side?
At least one.
At least one. Great. There's 9 of them.
I'd say around 6 or 7.
You think 6? You think he got a good majority of them?
Yeah, I think he's got. No, actually, I don't think. I think maybe like a few, like 2 or 3 are gonna follow him up. Yeah, I don't think he's got enough people. I honestly don't think he needs them.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He's got 2 fucking Surge Binders
people,
and a bunch of Shardbearers. Like
Adolin did win a bunch of shards.
Shardblade bearers.
Do we think Moash is going to go out though? Because he's one of their Shardbearers now.
Well, he's going out, but he's also taking advantage of that and probably going to kill Elhokar.
So you think Elhokar is going with them on the plateau assault?
He might not, huh? He either goes with them and gets killed there, or stays behind and gets even more killed there. No, but they have to go because there's still the danger of the assassin, right?
Assassin in white.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still worried about Zeth. Zeth hasn't come back yet. They don't know
And
if he
they
is
don't
coming
know
back.
when they're coming back.
They don't know if or when he's coming back.
No, like themselves in the expedition.
Yeah, well, they don't know exactly how long it's going to take them to get there because they don't know how far out the center actually is. Which
So
they
it
might
would
have a
be
better idea now with Shallan, but they weren't sure.
Okay, but it would be stupid to leave the king behind.
Well, it depends because he's kind of a bit safer in his war camp. It depends if they leave people guarding him or not. So like,
From the assassin?
Well,
Because
the thing
if
is, do you
Kaladin's going, Adolin's going, Dalinar is going, those are the top three that fought him off.
The thing is, though, like Elhokar never goes out to fight the Parshendi. He's never been out to like the actual war. I don't think before.
Yeah, but this isn't a fight with the Parshendi, though.
It is. Balinar's going to go and massacre them all.
100%. Yeah, it 100% is. However, he's not. Isn't wait? Who are we talking about? Elhokar? Right?
Elhokar, yeah, the king.
Isn't it? Oh, yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, he's not going nowhere. I was thinking the other guy, the one that just decided to join Bridge 4, but
Oh, Renarin.
Renarin?
yeah,
Renarin's going.
yeah, 100%.
The question is, though, if
I think all
Elhokar
of
stays
Bridge 4 are
behind, are any of Bridge 4 going to stay behind to protect him?
They're gonna have to.
No, none of them are.
Because that would go against whatever promise thingy
No,
that Kaladin
I
did.
think-
He was like,
No, I think this is. I think how long? How much longer do we have in this book? Like,
What if Moash stays
we're
behind?
we're about to start the last part. I think there's about
like, is this our last? Is this our last chapters of this book that we're like?
there's
the
about
last
200 pages
episode
left.
of the podcast? Is that the? Okay, so it's not the last.
There's
episode of the
three.
podcast.
There's 3 episodes left. There's next week and then 2 more. There's 19 episodes total.
Okay.
And this is episode 16 that we're on.
Okay, that's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
Because if I still think Kaladin's gonna go, but if for some reason Kaladin isn't going,
Mhm.
right? The only reason I feel like he stays back would be to help, like, quote unquote, help Moash get to the king to murder him,
Mhm.
and then that's where we'll go down the whole wonderful road of his redemption arc.
Mhm.
But
Because remember, they're leaving today, and Kaladin's quite injured. So it depends if he's going to get carried out there, or if he's going to be like have to stay behind because he's injured.
yeah, so I think that's how it's going to go. It's going to be Kaladin's going to stay behind and use
So
that
Moash is staying
opportunity.
behind too. Moash is gonna stay behind too.
Yeah, so I think Moash is also going to stay behind. Honestly, I don't even know if Bridge 4 should go out there, but
Well, part of their
Yeah.
guard detail is guarding Dalinar, so at least some of them,
Yeah.
some of the Dalinar's guard needs to go out. And if Elhokar stays behind, some of them need to stay behind. If Elhokar goes out too, they're all going out.
yeah, I think at least of Bridge 4, I think Rock goes out, and then I think
Rock.
Rock. And then if I don't know who else, so I would put in that and like the Bridge 4 crew onto Dalinar, but I'm sure there's more that'll go.
I think Scar
and
was
then-
considered one of their best fighters, so I feel like he's either going to be
He
protecting
probably-
Dalinar or Elhokar. So it just depends who they would put him with.
What else?
There's Teft.
Well, 'cause I think
There's Lopin.
I
One-armed
don't
Lopin.
remember any. I don't remember.
No,
any
not
of
Lopin.
Man.
He can't fly yet.
them. You can't fly.
Yeah, there's Lopin.
Not
There's
my Lopin.
There's Sigzil. There's David, who's the battle shocked guy who doesn't talk.
Dabin. He's
David. There's also
for sure.
Hobber, who's paralyzed from the waist down because Seth
Oh yeah,
sliced
they're
his
sending him
legs.
for sure.
He kind of hangs out with Rock lately. He helps with the cooking.
I don't cook.
Lane's left. They have a couple other guys, but I don't. Those were like kind of the main ones we talked to. Oh, they've got Lopin's cousins. I think like Huyo or something. Is there
Julio.
Huyo? No L.
Julio.
Huio. Huyo's there. I don't know if he'd go or not. He's the kind of Bridge 4, but not really Bridge 4 guy.
He'll get there. You know, he's just gotta step it up a little.
Anyways, so my extra review question was, do you think Shallan will reveal her abilities to Dalinar once they get to the center? Like, if she finds, like, the Oath Gate or something, do you think she's
Yeah.
going to reveal her abilities?
She's gonna have to trigger it somehow.
What was the question? Sorry.
Do you think Shallan's going to reveal her abilities to Dalinar? Like, because, like, they're going out there and she wants to find, like, this Oath Gate and stuff, do you think she's going to have to, like, reveal her abilities to Dalinar?
I think she's gonna do it because she's stupid.
She's
She's
Yeah,
telling
yeah,
people
yeah,
everything?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna like purposefully do it. I think she's just gonna do it because she's dumb.
Don't call her that.
Why? Because she is.
Call her something worse.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh. What do you think is going to happen to Kaladin now that he's injured and without his bond with Syl?
I mean, Syl's still there.
No, so it's not there.
Why would you say that if you know how I feel?
Well, wait, I thought you didn't like Syl. So, wait, huh?
I want her there so she can actually die though.
Oh my god. What if she is already dead though? Darkness?
She's not dead. She's still there.
Do you
I can
think?
fight you on this.
Do you think Shallan will find the Oath Gate?
Who the fuck is Shalon?
Ha!
Yeah,
Who the fuck is Shalon?
she will.
And also, do you think Shallan will speak her next truth before the end of the book?
I don't see why
Yes.
not. She's got to catch up to Calden, you know.
Yes, I do. I think she will.
What do you think it'll be then? Her next truth?
I'm not good with this type of stuff.
Yeah, right. What?
Probably like, I shall never not lie.
Remember, she doesn't need to speak oath. Her last truth was just, "I killed my father."
Probably I killed my mother.
I killed my mother. Yeah, right.
All right. Do you guys have any more thoughts or theories you want to go through?
I think we got it all.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. So yeah, next episode is episode 17 out of 19 for this book. We'll be doing Interlude 13 to chapter 79. And it's another 6 chapters. And I am very, very excited for Interlude 14, which is the Taravangian Interlude. And anyone who's read this book will know what interlude this is.
Who's Taravangian?
The guy who's killing all the people in his hospital.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. And I'm very
I've been
excited for
waiting for
that.
that.
I'm very excited for that, and I'm very excited for our next part's epigraphs in part 5 here. That's coming up.
I've literally mentioned him almost every episode.
We finally get him
Forgot
again.
all about it. Yeah.
It's very good. Very, very good. I'm very excited.
No. If you're excited, then that's bad.
Yeah, very
I
good.
love this Taravangian interlude. It's so good. So yeah, look forward to that. That's what we'll be doing next time. 6 chapters, Interlude 13 to chapter 79. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out and listening to us. We really appreciate it. Please check out our Patreon. Thanks again to Hubris for being our one Patreon paid member. We really appreciate you. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.